Welcome, race fans, to Flamboro Speedway, where tonight it's round number 2 for the APC Series here in 2023. My name's Greg Kellnan. With me up in the booth will be Jamie Maudsley, down trackside Clinton Jeffrey to bring you all the action. On the card tonight with the APC Series is also the Quick Wick Fire Starter Can-Am Midgets. It's going to be an action-packed night, and we're here to bring you all of the action. The big story tonight, the car count is back up for the APC Series, and it should be a great one, as always, here at Flamboro Speedway. Our Clinton Jeffrey and Jamie Maudsley are over in the pits right now, stirring up some stories that'll be big here tonight at the track.
Here with Rick Spencer-Walt. Rick, you know, we talked about the leg last year. That's behind you now. How are you feeling about Flamboro? Is this a place you're comfortable with?
I don't know if we're comfortable yet. It's a different place to get around with the curbs on each end. I find I'm getting up on the curbs a bit. We ran a lot older tires than most in practice today, but I think we have a good car right at the end there. We found some stuff and got the sway bar right and a few things adjusted up in the car. I think we're ready to go.
Right on, guys. Another guy to watch here, the 31, Rick Spencer-Walt here at Flamboro today.
We're down here in the pits with two of our pre-race favorites. Obviously, the winner last time out, Danny Benedict, the 150-lap winner at Sunset Speedway. Tell us about that magical night three weeks ago.
Yeah, you know, it's always nice to start the season off with a win, and it definitely gives you a big confidence boost going into the rest of the year to just finally get that first win, you know. But obviously refocus for today here at Flamboro. It's a tight track and things happen fast, so just focus in on today and see what we can do.
Have you been able to take what you accomplished at Sunset and put that finger on it yet and figure out what exactly it was that got you to the front?
Yeah, I don't know if it was one thing or just a total team effort. You know, the North Country Property Maintenance Mobile One McCall Racing Enterprise car was really good that night, and you know, obviously it's always nice to look back, but we're trying to look forward and keep digging.
We go from a driver with one feature win to a guy with multiple feature wins and 2 championships, J.R. Fitzpatrick, and you got to be excited about coming back to Flamboro. I mean, this is the place you cut your teeth.
Yeah, definitely. I love Flamboro Speedway. It's one of my favorite tracks, and we're showing great speed today. Sunset, we were off a little bit. We struggled with some stuff in the race there. Just some unexpected issues came about, but hey, we got them all sorted out, and the car's been really fast today, and looking forward to seeing how we do. We should start up front because we're far back in points now, so it should be a good day.
It was a tight championship race last year, but it seemed like everybody stepped up their level at Sunset. There was a lot of guys who were players that we never saw that coming. I mean, does it make you, does it make the a little more challenging for you?
Challenging, definitely, but it also makes you proud, right? Because the tour is developing a lot of great teams, a lot of great talent. Everybody's really close. I mean, I think Sunset really threw a curveball at a lot of us because we were trying to plan for a much longer race and strategize how you're going to make the car work, et cetera. And I think we fell too far out of what we would normally do. So we're just going to go back to how we would normally run these races, and hopefully that puts us up front.
J.R. Fitzpatrick along with Danny Benedict, two of the favorites here tonight at Flamboro Speedway.
We're here with Kyle Steckley. Kyle, you won your first ever APC race right here at Flamboro, but today's a bit of a different situation for you. You know, your dad and the other crew is down at the Pinty Series race in Quebec. How's that changing your setup and your style today? I know you're just on the phone with Dad for a while. What kind of tips are you getting from Quebec?
Yeah, he's definitely helping me out the best he can with all the knowledge he has, and it's definitely a little bit different. I got to play a bit bigger role, but I like that stuff, and it's a fun challenge for sure. I've got a great group of guys here with me today helping out, and yeah, just making some fine-tune adjustments, talking to Dad about what we should do for qualifying as it starts to cool down here tonight, and hopefully we can go out and get another win here.
What's the hardest part about tonight, Kyle? Is it going to be just keeping the tires on the car?
Flamboro's a bit different than most tracks, so I think you just got to know what the track's going to do as it cools down. It was a hot, sunny day here in practice, so I think it's going to cool down a lot. The track's going to change a lot, so I think it's all about making the right changes right now before qualifying so you're there at the end of 100 laps.
Right on, there's from Kyle Steckley, another guy we'll be watching here today, guys. We'll send it back up to Greg in the booth. We're about to get this show underway.
When we come back, we're going green flag racing at Flamboro Speedway on G-Force TV.
For over 100 years, our company has been unique, a world leader in high-precision products, fully committed to energy efficiency and friction reduction. Today is the day to start a new chapter, a new step of our company. Today is the day to share our vision, our contribution, our identity. At the heart of our DNA, there is a name. Namerica. We are NT. NTN, and we make the world Namerica. We are all together. We design precision engineering. We believe in a fluid, mobile, and harmonious society. We build positive mobility. We are NTN, and with willingness, conviction, and humility, we make the world Namerica.
Get ready to experience the NASCAR Pinty Series Power Hour. Join your host and wingman, Cam K, every Monday night at 7 p.m. on GeForce TV for an hour of non-stop excitement and in-depth analysis of the hottest racing series around. From the latest race highlights to expert analysis and insider commentary, you'll get an exclusive look at everything you need to know about the NASCAR Pinty Series. Tune in for the NASCAR Pinty Series Power Hour, the ultimate destination for race fans everywhere.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick perfected fire. Quick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick retailer at quickquick.com.
Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Our savory potato sides can be prepared any way you like. Serve warm or chilled, as a main or as a side. Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Create your way to great taste.
The APC Series on GeForce TV is brought to you by Mighty Wipes, the strongest wipe around. And by NTN, delivering the ultimate bearing experience.
Welcome back to Flamboro Speedway, GeForce TV. Just waiting for the TQ Midgets to roll out onto the Speedway for their heat race competition. Jamie Maudsley up in the tower along with Greg Calnan. Clint Jeffries will be downstairs, and we'll bring in the third member of our team here tonight. Introduce yourself.
Great to be here. Flamboro Speedway announcer Kevin Small, and shaping up to be a fantastic night here with the GeForce team and the United Late Model Series and the Quick Can-Am Midgets. Should be a fantastic show.
You guys have had some good late model counts here of late here at Flamboro Speedway for a weekly program. Going to get to see one of your weekly drivers make his debut here tonight.
Yeah, a couple drivers making their debut here with the United Late Model Series. The Burbridge boys, as we call them here at Flamboro Speedway. Cole Quinton, a couple of those guys to keep an eye on here. Shaping up to be a great day, and it should be lots of fun keeping an eye on them. Yeah, we've been averaging about 14, 15 late models, so it's nice to see there's about 20 of them over in the pits tonight. So should be a great count.
Rick Burbridge, former full-time runner on staff with the APC Series. And, of course, Canada's fastest ginger, Cole Quinton, getting set to make his ABC debut. I already got the okay to say that.
It's not Dave Bradley?
Not anymore. Wait till you see this kid behind the wheel, man. So, great field of late models weekly here at Flamboro. That's always good to see. I know at Delaware on Friday nights we've been having good late model counts, and it bodes well for the late model asphalt end of the business. Greg, I know you're the dirt guy, but we're doing okay this year in terms of car counts on the asphalt. Had a good crowd up at Sunset Speedway for the opener, and of course tonight we got 20 cars on hand here, and that's about all you need at Flamboro Speedway.
Yeah, I was going to say you don't need a whole lot more, and the question for me coming into tonight and my previous ventures here to Flamboro Speedway is what type of race are we going to see? Because I was here a couple of years ago where it was maybe one or two cars left that didn't have a ding in it. And then the other race that year, clean as could be, excellent race. Both were good, but Flamboro can bring you two different animals, and that's the question. What do we see tonight?
I call it the 3 or 23 rule here at Flamboro. You're going to get 3 cautions, or you're going to get 23 of them. But yeah, you're right, and it can vary from one race here at Flamboro to the other. We've seen a lot of long green flag runs here, but we've seen a lot of yellow flags fly. But it's always an entertaining facility. We're going to get 12, 13, 14 guys that are going to be running well. And, of course, some of the names that ran well at Sunset to start off the season. I mean, if you had Danny Benedict, Eric Delariva, and Joe Lawrence as your top 3 on your bingo card, like that would have parlayed some big money in Vegas.
Yeah, that when I was looking at the results from that night, very happy for Danny Benedict because he's been through the ringer in this series and spent so much in problems with that car that weren't necessarily his own fault, where he'd get caught up in things or come to the track and have issues show themselves in gremlins. And unfortunately for him, it never seemed to work out. But good to see him atop the pile. And you're right, I didn't expect that. But at the same time, you know, it's well-deserved. It's not that he can't compete and isn't a top runner.
And De La Riva, he played the strategy role.
Yeah.
They read the rules, said, okay, we can pit it halfway, but we don't have to. And I think that not making adjustments and getting that track position is going to be way more important. Car owner Dale Shaw told Eric, just chill out the first half of the race, save your tires as much as you can, save your stuff, and they didn't pit. Next thing you know, he's running in the top 3 for the second half of the race.
So the Quick Wick Firestarter Can-Am Midgets on the racetrack, and they're ready to go with their 2 qualifying heats for the evening. We'll let Kevin run down the starting order for this first qualifying heat of the night.
Heat number 1 goes as follows. Starting on the pole from St. Catharines, Ontario, in the Gearco sponsored entry, it's the 68 of Paul Jorgensen. Starting in second from St. Clements, Ontario, on the GPM sponsored entry, it's the 11 of David Miller. Starting in third from Guelph, Ontario, on the Burn Workwear sponsored entry, it's the 72 of Junior Farley. Starting in fourth from Toronto, Ontario, on the Larry's Engine sponsored entry, it's the 05 of Jody Bound. Starting in fifth from Orangeville, Ontario, on the Southfield Farm sponsored entry, it's the 57 of James Stanley. Starting in sixth from Palmerston, Ontario, on the Glen Stiers Racing sponsored entry, it's the 15 of Bob Bailey. Starting in seventh from Burlington, Ontario, on the Neely Auto Services sponsored entry, it's the 18 of Ryan Fraser. Rounding out the field in car number 20 from Guelph, Ontario, in the Factory Recreation sponsored entry, it's Tyler Sagan. 8 cars set to take the field for heat race number 1 for the Quick Wick Can-Am Midgets. Always put on a great show here at Flamboro Speedway. Field's doubled up. White flag is in the air. Looks like we're about to go Quick Wick Can-Am Midget Racing.
Yeah, I believe we've got somewhere in the 16, 17 range here tonight.
Yeah, I've got 16 on my roster so far, and great turnout of cars. And again, great car count for this facility. You don't need a ton of cars at Flamboro Speedway to see some great racing. We're going to see that tonight. If you've never seen the Can-Am Midgets, you're going to enjoy this here this evening at Flamboro Speedway. The first green flag of the night, ready to go for the Quick Can-Am Midgets. Jorgensen leads them down into corner number 1 as they work it down the backstretch for the first time. You see Miller hanging on the outside, Farley on the inside.
And Farley in that 72 painted up kind of like his late model. Got some sponsorship from PV Mart this year. And a beautiful looking TQ midget getting his feet wet behind the wheels of an open wheel racer.
And we see Kevin in this race coming off of corner 2. It's a handful in any division here.
Any division off of turn 2 here at Flamboro Speedway. That wall will bite, and you can see there's lots of drivers that have bitten it before, and it gets in there quickly and in a hurry. You want to get that good run down the back straightaway. As you can see, the 11 of David Miller jumps out to the race lead off of turn 2. That wall comes up quick, and that's going to be something you want to pay attention to throughout the night as the track kind of cools down here as the sun starts to set.
Miller 7th in points so far on the year. He leads Junior Farley by just a car length and a bit. Junior Farley right there, hanging in the draft of the 11 machine. And aero plays a big role in these cars, despite how small they are. As you see Farley poking nose down to the bottom. Make sure you got your wing in the right spot. And again, you see all the aero they do on the body work of these cars, all designed to make it go as fast as possible.
And how fast are they going? Under 16 seconds around this speedway. That's a quick lap around. David Miller gets a little wiggly there up in corner number 4, leads the lap, but Junior Farley is right there on that rear Nerf bar.
Farley coming off of turn 2, keeping an eye on that wall. He's trying to get that run down the back straightaway on the 11 of Miller. He tucks to the inside in 3 and 4, but can't quite power off as Miller leads lap number 7 here as we're starting to click them off here in heat race number 1. Miller hanging on by the slightest margins as they go down the back straightaway down into turn 3.
Right on that, James Stanley on the charge. Stanley came in tonight 2nd in points, has moved up to 3rd. He's got by the 68 of Jorgensen, now trying to track down those leaders, but not a lot of time left to do it.
No, he's gaining ground pretty quick, but you're right. There's only a couple of laps this time by. I should see the white flag, I believe. Yes, we will. So one more lap to go. Can Farley do anything with Miller? And can Stanley close the gap on the top two?
Farley tries one more time off of turn 2. Can't quite get the power down good enough. Miller's got one set of corners to complete heat race number 1. He's going to come off of turn 4. Checkered flag in the air. Heat race win goes to the 11 of David Miller.
Farley comes home second. 57 Stanley in third. Jorgensen fourth. And the fifth place finish is going to be the 0-5.
Joey Bound fifth. Bob Bailey sixth. Tyler Sagan in the 7th spot. Ryan Fraser completes the running order in the 8th spot. We'll see Junior Farley a little bit later on with his Pro Late model with the APC Series. Double duty for him tonight as David Miller gets the photo on the start-finish line from Dave Franks and crew. So first qualifying heat in the books. One more to go for the Quick Can-Am Midgets. Of course, our own Adam Ross, he is in Quebec tonight at Autodrome Chaudière with the NASCAR Pinty Series, where I just saw that Trayton Lapsovich is on the pole there for that one. 300 laps of that pole ring.
Wow, talk about a good start to the season. 2 wins for Trayton and a pole in race number 3. Former APC driver. She has a victory on tour. TQ Midget's coming out for heat race number 2.
Looks like they could be waiting here. I know the 7 of Jeff Blackburn's supposed to be in this heat race as well. We'll see if he can make the call here for heat race number 2, but it looks like we're going to get the lineup in here in just a second. Heat race number 2 for the Quick Can-Am Midgets. Always an exciting show here at Flamboro Speedway, especially when they're joined with the United Late Model Series. They say it's like a fighter jet in a fishbowl. That's what a Quick Can-Am Midget is like, and these guys put on a heck of a show here at Flamboro Speedway.
Yeah, this isn't a go-kart that you'd ride somewhere out with a mini golf course somewhere, you know, one of these fun Saturday night events. No, these cars mean business.
Go-kart on a lot of steroids.
Exactly.
Steroids.
Yeah, 6 cars out there, and I think there was a couple of more scheduled. And Jeff Blackburn obviously is the one key member that we are definitely missing here.
Yeah, he picked up the win here when they opened up their season here at Flamboro Speedway, so we'll see if we can make the call here for heat race number 2. Don't know if he's going to be able to make it, though, as I think they're getting ready to double up.
Now, Sherry Hogan in the 74X. You did a lot of driving stateside and modified. I know she's from Canada. Most of her starts were in the U.S. I believe she competed when they had the ROC Modifieds race at Jukasa, if I'm not mistaken. But making the jump to a TQ Midget here this year. She's a rookie, but just a rookie with these race cars.
Looks like the field's doubled up here on the pole. The 91 of Mike Westwood, the outside, the 5 of Andrew Whelan. Third, the 55 of Corey Whittam. Fourth will be the 42 of Daniel Hahn. Fifth will be the 74 of Sherry Hogan. Running out the field, the 81 of Cassidy March. It looks like we are ready to go racing. Green flag is in the air, and we're underway for heat race number 2 for the Quick Can-Am Midgets.
Off they fire down into corner number 1. Whalen on the outside of Westwood as they work off corner number 2. Still stacked up side by side. They'll make it 3 wide into the 3rd corner.
Top 4 for the first time. It's going to be that 55 of Whittam to the front. Westwood's going to tuck into line in 2nd.
Those of that 91 scurrying around there in corner number 2. A handful for Westwood. He'll hold on to that 2nd spot as they cross the line another time.
Now down into turn 1 and 2, the 42 of Daniel Hahn down to the inside, down the back straightaway on the 91 of Westwood. We'll see if he can make that pass stick on the bottom side off of turn 4. Still side by side as they complete lap number 2 on to lap 3 now. Hahn still on the bottom, down into 1 and 2 once again.
Westwood making it work on the outside, but Hahn still there chewing at the inside. They work these 4-cylinder 750cc Kawasaki's around the Speedway, and Whittam has opened up a huge lead out front.
Yeah, all this action behind with Hahn and Westwood really allowed Whalen to pull away, but now it's Hahn starting to cut that lead down just a little bit. The battle now is behind that as Westwood has some company again.
Cross sticks in the air, halfway done. Heat race number 2 for the Can-Am midgets, and it is all Corey Whittam out front.
Whittam continues to lead as we look at the 5 of Andrew Whelan up to 3rd now. The 91 of Mike Westwood dropping back just a little bit, but the 55 of Corey Whittam, last year's season champion, putting on a good show here in heat race number 2 as he's opened up about a half straightaway lead here as they work lap number 6, now coming to lap number 7. Still about a half straightaway lead over the 42 of Daniel Hahn.
3 to go for Whittam, the driver out of Brantford. Over Daniel Hahn right now in second. He cut the gap a little bit, but really has not gained much ground on the leader, and things have spread out here as we come to 2 laps left to go in this final qualifier for the Quick Can-Am midgets.
Whittam's got the sails in the air. About 3/4 of a straightaway lead over Hahn. We come to the white flag this time by Corey Whittam in that 55. Looking to go to victory lane here in heat race number 2. Hahn in second.
Hahn's got one more set of corners, but too much ground to make up off of turn 4. Checkered flag in the air. Heat race win goes to the 55 of Corey Whittam. Coming home in second will be the 42 of Daniel Hahn, and in third, the 5 of Andrew Whelan.
Westwood finishes 4th, Cass March in 5th. Sherry Hogan comes home 6th.
So Corey Whittam will head down to the front stretch and get his victory photo taken as we prepare for group qualifying coming up for the APC series at 6:20. 5 laps for each group here tonight for the APC series, and 21 cars in total making their trip to Flamboro Speedway.
Corey Whittam's getting some trophy room shots down there in victory lane.
Yeah, the 55 of Whittam, no stranger to heat race victory lane here at Flamboro Speedway. Picked up a few wins here when they opened up the season a few weekends ago. Always good to see that smiling face on that 55 of Whittam. And that's going to wrap up heat race qualifying for the Quick Can-Am midgets.
And that will set the stage for, as I mentioned, the APC qualifying for tonight's Grisdale Racing Products 100. Practice earlier on this afternoon. J.R. Fitzpatrick was quickest in the first round of practice. Danny Benedict and Eric Della Riva, 2 that we talked about at the top of the show that are up there in the standings, showing quick times here in that first practice. And then in the second practice, no surprise, see Kyle Steckley jump up there to the first spot. J.R. Fitzpatrick, Danny Benedict, and Josh Stoddy up there into the 4th position in the second practice session. So things should be interesting here tonight. And you come into these APC races, and the nice thing is you don't really have any sort of favorite, I think, right off the top that you think they're just going to walk away and dominate. No one would really surprise you to be in victory lane.
Not since the days of Brendan Watson racing here full time. I mean, he was just... Geez, he was a juggernaut. But, I mean, J.R. Fitzpatrick had a bunch of wins last year, but they were not easy. And, again, you just look at the guys who were running up top last time out, you know, names that you don't normally see there. Sean Chenoweth, you're going to see him be stout here tonight. Tom Gibbons with the top 5. Jake Sheridan ran well. And, of course, again, we're talking about that top 3 from the last race, Benedict, Della Riva, and Lawrence.
So there you see the drivers over in the pit area getting ready for qualifying. We'll take a quick break here on G-Force TV and be back to set the stage for group qualifying for tonight's Grisdale Racing Products 100 on G-Force TV. Rev up your engines and get ready for some high-octane action. GeForce TV is your one-stop destination for all the best racing action across Ontario. With free live coverage of the APC Series, Bushwick Speedway, Southern Ontario Sprints, and much more. You won't miss a single moment of the excitement. Whether you're a die-hard fan or a casual viewer, GeForce TV has everything you need to stay up to date on the latest racing news and events. Head to our website at GeForceTV.net and start watching today.
Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Our savory potato sides can be prepared any way you like. Serve warm or chilled, as a main or as a side. Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Create your way to great taste.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick perfected fire. Quick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick retailer at quickquick.com.
Get ready to experience the NASCAR Pinty Series Power Hour. Join your host and wingman, Cam K, every Monday night at 7 p.m. on GeForce TV for an hour of non-stop excitement and in-depth analysis of the hottest racing series around. From the latest race highlights to expert analysis and insider commentary, you'll get an exclusive look at everything you need to know about the NASCAR Pinty Series. Tune in for the NASCAR Pinty Series Power Hour, the ultimate destination for race fans everywhere.
For over 100 years, our company has been unique, a world leader in high-precision products, fully committed to energy efficiency and friction reduction. Today is the day to start a new chapter, a new step of our company. Today is the day to share our vision, our contribution, our identity. At the heart of our DNA, there is a name. Namerica. We are NTN, and we make the world Namerica. We are all together. We design precision engineering. We believe in a fluid, mobile, and harmonious society. We build positive mobility. We are NTN, and with willingness, conviction, and humility, we make the world Namerica.
The APC Series on GeForce TV is brought to you by Pinty's, making great food fun, and by Quick, the world's best fire starter. Back live at Flamboro Speedway on GeForce TV as Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet presents the APC United Late Model Series. Getting ready for the Grisdale Racing Products 100 cars lined up over on the pit lane. Drivers getting strapped in, buckled in. Final preparations being made for group qualifying. Greg Kellman up in the tower along with Jamie Maudsley, Kevin Small, the weekly announcer here at Flamboro Speedway, and our Clinton Jeffrey is down in the infield here this evening, getting ready to bring you all the action of the Quick Can-Am Midgets and the APC Series. Round number 2 And we got one car coming out onto the track for the Can-Am Midgets. I think maybe just getting a little check here. And this is Jeff Blackburn, who missed his qualifying heat, so maybe a little shakedown to make sure the 7 machine is ready to go for feature time.
I believe you said Blair Wickett's up in that first group, is he? He was your fast qualifier at Sunset Speedway. Tough break. Then he had a problem, lost about 5 laps getting it fixed. But once he got it fixed, he passed some top 5 cars, even though he's 5 laps down. So the polar Blair Wickett, his home track, Flamboro Speedway, here tonight.
He's been making quite a few starts here with the weekly stuff, so he's going to be one to keep an eye on here tonight, as Blair has definitely been quick and showing signs of improvement here week in and week out here at Flamboro Speedway, so definitely keep an eye on that beautiful-looking number 97.
And again, some stuff coming up if you haven't made plans for next weekend at the beach at Sauble, both the Oscar Modifieds and Hot Rod Series, or the Just Foam It Modified Series, the Nightwork Hot Rod Series will be in action at Sauble Speedway. Also in action, most of the other end of the province, will be at Peterborough Speedway on GeForce TV. Round number 1 of the Quick Wick Series for the Provincial Super Stocks. And then, of course, round number 3 for the APC United Late Model Series, presented by Castrol.
Peterborough Speedway is a fun track. It really is. It has a lot of character, much like Flamboro.
Take, no offense to folks at Flamboro here, but take Delaware out of the equation, because I know I'm a homer there.
Yeah.
If you told me I could go to one track in Ontario and watch a race, Peterborough. That's where I'd answer hands down. It's always exciting. Little soup bowl of a racetrack, no grip. Usually, not too many people leave there without tempers in an uproar. But on the flip side, I believe the Superstock race last year there, I don't think we had a yellow till late in the race, and I believe the year before might have even went green flag from coast to coast, with Carson Nagy winning 2 years ago, and I believe it was Jason Parker going to victory lane last year.
Yeah, it's a fun facility. Autumn Colors Classic weekend, always a fun one as well, too. So if you've never been, good chance to see Peterborough Speedway. The APC Series next week. We'll have it here on GeForce TV, of course. So just a couple of minutes away from the group qualifying. We'll take one more quick break before that begins here on GeForce TV.
Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Our savory pasticides can be prepared any way you like. Serve warm or chilled, as a main or as a side. Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Create your way to great taste.
Rev up your engines and get ready for some high-octane action. GeForce TV is your one-stop destination for all the best racing action across Ontario. With free live coverage of the APC Series, Bushwick Speedway, Southern Ontario Sprints, and much more. You won't miss a single moment of the excitement. Whether you're a diehard fan or a casual viewer, GeForce TV has everything you need to stay up to date on the latest racing news and events. Head to our website at GeForceTV.net and start watching today. Back live at Flamboro Speedway for the running of the Grisdale's Racing Products 100 for the APC Series. Group time trials taking place right now. First 5 cars on the track. See Matt Box out there in car number 27. Out along with him will be Corey Luciano in car number 94. Blair Wickett in the 97. Mike Bentley in the 51. And Mark Burbridge in the 02.
Mark Burbridge, Rick Burbridge there. This is their retirement tour, we were told, doing a bunch of races in a bunch of different spots before hanging them up. Mark and Rick, longtime competitors here at Flamboro Speedway. I believe Mark's former champion here at the racetrack, correct?
Yeah, last year's season champion, so he definitely knows his way around Flamboro Speedway. So keep an eye on that 02 machine. So far, running some good times here in qualifying.
And Luciano, top of the board so far with a 15.315. Wicket second, Bentley third, Box in fourth, and the Polar Blair to the top of the board.
Beautiful looking race car for Polar Blair this year. That gold leaf foil on that machine, and he is putting down some quick times right now. How about Corey Luciano, another nice looking piece, and a name I'm not familiar with, but he's looked pretty good here.
Well, he found 0.3 of a second from practice to qualifying. So that's always a bonus if we can see guys like J.R. Fitzpatrick find 0.3. We're talking track records. Exactly. So everybody picking it up here.
So it was Luciano, Wicket, Burbridge, Bentley, and Box, the order in that first group. Group B ready to hit the racetrack here in just a moment. Rick Burbridge in the 2 machine. Sean Chenoweth, who is always so good here at Flamboro Speedway. Tom Gibbons and Tyler DiVincenzo will be the 4 drivers in Group B, just waiting for them to surface here.
And Tom Gibbons, he had to go deep down the depth chart here tonight. So his normal spotter, Donnie, not able to be in attendance. His backup spotter already had a gig. He ended up getting Carson Nagy.
Yeah.
This could be the hardest Carson Nagy's ever worked at a racetrack without having a car here. Spotting for Tom Gibbons. Tom should be okay in practice or in qualifying. Carson's going to have his hands full tonight. And you'll see Carson Nagy in action next week as part of that quick super stock deal at Peterborough Speedway. There is Rick Burbridge out of Brantford, Ontario, in the West Brant Windows Blue Deuce. Next car in line will be the Plattsville driver. He keeps changing where he's from. Sometimes it's Plattsville, sometimes it's Innerkip. This week it's going to be Drumbo. I think he's from the Plattsboro, Drumbo, Innerkip Triangle area. Sean Chenoweth, London Recreational Racing, number 89C. Of course, the 10 from Southampton in the Grand Family Auto Car Quest machine. Tom Gibbons. And 4th car out there, the 97. Rugco-sponsored entry of Tyler DiVincenzo, who hails from Guelph, Ontario.
See the London Recreational 89C at Sean Chenoweth as we watch the times. So far, no one in this group able to top anyone from Group A.
It is early, though.
Yeah.
Usually lap
they were all
4,
late
lap
laps.
5 there are the money laps once they get these tires.
Corey Luciano had his on lap 4, and everyone else was lap 5 in that last group. Tom Gibbons on lap 2, works his way up. Now Rick Burbridge on lap 3, moves a little farther up. Chenoweth now. They're inching closer.
White flag out, last lap, Burbridge, first one on the clock. P1, Rick Burbridge, 15.208.
Chenoweth right behind with a 15.232. And we are under some cloud cover, which we haven't seen all afternoon.
Burbridge with a 1.94. He goes a little faster. Chenoweth still second. Gibbons will stay 5th. Luciano in 3rd. Wicket 4th. Gibbons 5th. Mark Burbridge 6th. Mike Bentley 7th. Tyler DiVincenzo 8th. And Matt Box 9th. So again, this is how we start them. We got 21 cars here tonight. Top 10 will be locked in the top 10 spots, and then we will invert them based on the point standing. So essentially, if you're the point leader and you qualify in that top 10, you're going to be starting back in the 8th, 9th, 10th range. The only exception would be a guy like Rick Burbridge who gets in the top 10, didn't run the last race, does not have 100% attendance. He would fall behind the point leader.
Okay.
towards the end of the top 10. So J.R. Fitzpatrick, well, he was disappointed in his Sunset performance. He says, all I got to do is get in the top 10 here tonight. I'm going to have a good starting spot.
Yeah, true. That's and that's a dangerous thing for everyone else here at Flamboro. We know how good JR is here.
JR was so good last year that he had to keep digging himself out from starting 8th, 9th, 10th every single night.
We see the bully Dwayne Baker out there in car number 48. Getting ready for his time trial run here.
Zancor Homes, the sponsor on the Stainer, Ontario driver's vehicle. 52 car, working through 1 and 2. That's the Pride Seat entry. Jake the Snake Sheridan out of Mount Bridges. Vibrant Farms and Cameron Cranes also on the side of that car. 31W Rick Spencer Walt, 2-time winner last year. 2-Speed Motorsports, Sturk Energy Systems, and Epic Raceware. He's from Hawkstone, Ontario. 4th driver out on the track. Making his APC late model presented by Castrol debut. That is, again, possibly Canada's fastest ginger, Cole Quinton. He was decent in practice earlier tonight. He's been getting his feet wet behind the wheels of that pro late model and recently found out he's been accepted to the Waterloo Engineering Program, which is where a fellow named Cole Perrin came out of before going to be a crew chief. So congratulations to Cole. We'll see how he does here tonight in that Stage It With Style Spire Fire Protection number 18.
Well, Jake Sheridan on lap 3. Well, there's Rick Spencer-Walt, beats him to it. P1 15.164 for Rick Spencer-Walt on lap 3. Sheridan slots into the 3rd spot now behind Rick Burbridge.
Cole Quinton up to 3rd. So in his APC debut, looks like he just got bumped back to 4th as Sheridan goes to 2nd. So you got Rick Spencer-Walt, Sheridan Burbridge, Cole Quinton, Chenoweth, Corey Luciano, Blair Wickett, Tom Gibbons, Mark Burbridge, and Mike Bentley on the bubble. 13 cars down, 8 more that will take time. So Rick Spencer-Walt and Jake Sheridan have locked themselves inside the top 10. Spencer-Walt a 15.096. Again, the record a 14.855. So about 2.5 tenths off that record pace, set all the way back here in 2018 by Brandon Watson.
I'm going to say it's not going to get.
Not today. No, we needed a whole bunch more cloud cover. Or some cooler weather. It was looking like it based on the practice times, but just don't think it's cooled down enough. 4 more cars taken to the Speedway. First one out on the grid, the Canusa APC Miami Muscle sponsored entry. That's Shea Gemmel out of Dorchester. Canada Flat Roof Systems. And Ridgeline Lubricants, sponsors on Chesley, Ontario's Josh Primetime Stoddy in the 17. Picked up his first ever APC feature win last summer at his home track of Sauble Speedway. And 3rd car out there, and this is a story. You got the car owned by brother Chris, you got brother Joe driving it, and you got the 604 that's owned by mom under the hood. Joe Lawrence, your 2020 APC champ. He's been racing bone stocks every Friday night for the last year and a half. They put this deal together this year. They were quick at Sunset, ended up on the podium, looking for some sponsorship on that car, and we know he can wheel it to the front. Last car out there, it's the PV Mart Epic Raceware entry. Junior Farley again doing double duty here at that 72.
So basically for Joe Lawrence, mom holds all the cards. You don't go race if mom.
No. I wonder if Joe had to clean his room this week.
Well, we know he can get it done, multi-time winner. And during the lockdown season of 2020, Joe Lawrence lit things up.
I believe he won 4 or 5 or something stupid like that.
Captured the championship that year in the Number 78 machine.
And he had to work at the opener at Sunset. He ended up near the back of the pack after that first pit stop or after the halfway break, and he dug the whole second half of that race. So my mom gave him a good piece under the hood.
Well, white flag second out. Quick right now, right behind Rick Spencer-Walt with a 15.109, and that was just that last lap. He improved a little bit.
Shea Gemmel was on the bubble. Looks like he moved up a spot. Now it's Blair Wickett on the bubble. Gibbons bumped out of the top 10, so is Burbridge and Bentley. And for those of you that don't know the whole story of the Lawrence race team, their dad, Dave Lawrence, a longtime competitor at Delaware Speedway, passed away a number of years ago. The guys that ran his crew kept the boys racing. After David passed away, they kept the boys racing at Grand Bend, both Chris and Joe. Chris brings 9 bone stocks. He brought 9 bone stocks to Delaware Speedway last night. So he had a rental program. Trevor Culver's brother was in one of them last night.
Nice.
He hadn't raced in about 13 years. He's made a couple starts now. Joe was driving one of them. Chris was driving another. Chris's girlfriend, Miss Penny, she drives one of the cars. Phil Givens drives one of the cars. One of the Stewarts, Nicole Stewart's been in one of their cars. Like, if you need a car at Delaware, you go see Chris Lawrence. He can get you hooked up with a bone stock.
Sounds like Roush Racing of the early 2000s.
At Roush after taxes.
Well, final group onto the racetrack, and this is where Rick Spencer-Walt could get knocked off the top of the pile, that's for sure.
Kyle Steckley in the Pennzoil APC sponsor number 22 out of Milverton, Ontario. And, of course, you got the 2-time APC late model presented by Castrol Champ. The 84 out of Cambridge. Cambridge Rigging, H2Go, Mobile Wash, Transaxle, heavy-duty truck and trailer parts. On the side of that 84, J.R. Fitzpatrick. Winner last time out at Sunset Speedway in the North Country Property Maintenance number 54. Handling out of Orono, Ontario. Mobile One B&W Enterprises also on the quarters of that Danny Benedict, number 54. And the last car in this group, coming off a second place finish at Sunset Speedway. The AJ&J Furniture SDR seating, number 74, that's Eric Della Riva out of Dundas.
So he backs up a very solid performance. As you talked about earlier, some strategy to get to that second place run at Sunset, and comes out and backs it up. Some quick times in both practice sessions, and that puts him in this final group.
He's not going to be able to pull off the sequel on that strategy here tonight, though, because no halfway breaks. And again, the reason we ran 150 laps at Sunset in the opener, part of the NTN Triple Crown, NTN stepped up to the plate with a lot of prize money for these drivers and said, we're going to give you 3 special races. One of them was at Sunset opening night, one of them at Sabo Speedway August long weekend, and then the Great Canadian is going to go back to a 200-lap race distance, 35 grand up for grabs just in the NTN portion of the prize program. So,
long-time supporters of motorsports here in Ontario for sure, and across Canada. So thank you to them, and I'm sure the drivers are very appreciative of that as Danny Benedict finds himself atop the leaderboard.
Shea Gemmel and Luciano just got bumped out of the top 10. Benedict, Spencer-Walt, Joe Lawrence, Fitzpatrick, and Sheridan. Della Riva is in 6th. Checkers out. Kyle Steckley, 9th quick. Wow. Della Riva in 6th.
So Danny Benedict ends up at the top of the scoring pylon with a 15.089 second lap over Rick Spencer-Walt. J.R. Fitzpatrick, 3rd quick. Joe Lawrence, 4th. And it was Jake Sheridan, Eric Della Riva, Rick Burbridge, Cole Quinton, Kyle Steckley, and Sean Chenoweth, the top 10. And for Danny Benedict, it's funny how racing goes. Sometimes there's that driver where no matter what they try, everything seems to go wrong for them. This season, it started at least the opposite finally for Danny Benedict.
It was so bad a few years ago, if I'm not correct, the first 2 races of the year, he didn't even get to qualify for either one. He He had something break and wreck the car the one night in practice, and then the next night broke a motor or something. But he went to the first 2 races of the year and never even turned a qualifying lap. But he's now gone from the outhouse to the penthouse.
He's the man to catch so far tonight. He is quickest as we get ready for tonight's Grisdale Racing Products 100 here at Flamboro Speedway. And we're going to get to some racing action. The first race up, of course, will be for the Quick Firestarter Can-Am Midgets. We'll set the scene for that when we return after this commercial break on G-Force TV. Get ready to experience the NASCAR Pinty Series Power Hour. Join your host and wingman, Cam K, every Monday night at 7 p.m. on G-Force TV for an hour of non-stop excitement and in-depth analysis of the hottest racing series around. From the latest race highlights to expert analysis and insider commentary, you'll get an exclusive look at everything you need to know about the NASCAR Pinty Series. Tune in for the NASCAR Pinty Series Power Hour, the ultimate destination for race fans everywhere.
Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Our savory pasticides can be prepared any way you like. Serve warm or chilled, as a main or as a side. Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Create your way to great taste.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick perfected fire. Quick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick retailer at quickquick.com.
Rev up your engines and get ready for some high-octane action. G-Force TV is your one-stop destination for all the best racing action across Ontario. With free live coverage of the APC Series, Bushwick and Speedway, Southern Ontario Sprints, and much more. You won't miss a single moment of the excitement. Whether you're a diehard fan or a casual viewer, G-Force TV has everything you need to stay up to date on the latest racing news and events. Head to our website at gforcetv.net and start watching today. Back live at Flamboro Speedway for the APC Series on G-Force TV. Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet brings you all the action here tonight as we get ready for our first feature action of the evening. It'll be the Can-Am Midgets running their feature event, and so far they've run a pair of qualifying heats, and we did see Jeff Blackburn come out. He missed the qualifying heats, but he's always one to watch, and he's going to have to do some work tonight, obviously coming from the back of the pack.
Yeah, he's definitely going to need to be doing some work. He picked up the win last time here in the Quick Can-Am Midget, so should be keep an eye on the 7 of Jeff Blackburn.
We never did run through the final qualifying order. So we've got Danny Benedict on the point. Rick Spencer-Walsh qualified second. J.R. Fitzpatrick third. Joe Lawrence fourth. Jake Sheridan fifth. Eric Delariva in sixth. Rick Burbridge timed in seventh. Cole Quinton eighth. Kyle Steckley was ninth. Sean Chenoweth 10th. Those will be the cars in the invert. Then you've got Josh Stoddy 11th. Luciano in 12th. Gemmel in 13th. Blair Wickett timed in 14th. Tom Gibbons 15th. Mark Burbridge 16th. Mike Bentley 17th. Tyler DiVincenzo 18th. 19th was Matt Box. 20th, Junior Farley. And 21st, Dwayne Baker. And I believe Clint Jeffries has a guest down there in pitside.
Yeah, I got our fastest qualifier, Danny Benedict. Danny, like you just said, we're talking for the right reasons, like I like to tell my buddies. 2 races in a row, you're knocking off the boxes you need to and talking to us for those right reasons, man. Congrats, fast timer, always a good deal.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. This North Country Property Maintenance Mobile 1 McCall Racing Enterprises car, man, it's hooked up tonight. We were a little off in practice, but still showed some good speed and just fine-tuned it, and man, it was really good there.
You know, the strategy paid out for you at Sunset with the 150, the extra 50 laps. You made it work. Let's talk about tonight. 100 straight. Anything you're going to change?
No, I don't think so. You know, patience is really going to pay off here. This race can go one of two ways. It can either be really rough or it can go green to checkered. So, you know, the big thing is just keep the car clean. We got Peterborough next week, so keep it clean, keep it in one piece, and try to make our way to the front.
All right, try and talk to us for the right reasons, Danny. Your fastest qualifier, Danny Benedict.
Thank you.
There you have it, guys. On the backstretch, getting ready to go. Can-Am Midget feature coming up.
Thanks, Clint. And I like where they did that interview. Up on the top of the backstretch wall. That's where no driver wants to be tonight. But Danny Benedict was up there for the right reason tonight. Talking to our Clinton Jeffrey.
So big stuff going on in the upcoming weeks. We'll bring you up to speed on the APC schedule coming up. Of course, Peterborough Speedway next Saturday night, quick race, as well as the APC late models. Then July 1st weekend is going to be a big one, Greg. Doubleheader at Delaware Speedway. The Quick Series will be the headliner on the Friday night card. And then, of course, Saturday, July 1st, event number 4 of the APC Series presented by Grisdales and Castrol. Then we're back here to Flamboro July 15th before getting up to Sauble for our 150-lapper August-long weekend. Lots of racing coming up throughout the province. Some great APC action as the Quick Tour kicks off. We've got to see some of those Quick cars. I know you get to see the ones here at Flamboro Speedway. I get to see them weekly at Delaware. When that kicks off next weekend, that's going to be great.
The Quick Super Stocks, those cars always put on a fantastic show, and they always, especially at Peterborough Speedway, Peterborough has been known to, sometimes people say it's a one-groove racetrack, so those Super Stocks like to get rough and tumble with it, as they say, and they put on a great show up there. Same with here at Flamboro Speedway. You know, we've had a few cars come out this season, a couple ones you're going to keep an eye on. The 33 Roy Wilkie, always stout. Lots of different drivers to keep an eye on, and they always do put on a fantastic show, no matter where they go, especially, like I said, here at Flamboro.
I think 2 years ago at the Quick race at Peterborough Speedway, the first time we were there with the Quick cars, we sent 6 guys home that night.
Yeah, I remember that.
6 guys went home, or a couple of them, I think, went and beat up on the OSS guys, if I'm not mistaken. But, yeah, it's going to be a lot of cars down there for that. Should be a great field of both APC late models and Quick Super Stocks. My guess is, I've heard we might see Flying Ryan Kimball back out in a late model, so he'll make the appearance at Peterborough next Saturday night.
Danny Benedict made a good point there. They've got a race next Saturday night. It's a quick turnaround to the next event. They've had some time to regroup from Sunset, but you have major problems here tonight. The next week, you know what your evenings and part of your days are going to be like.
You know that. Does it change anything?
No.
Probably not. No. Hopefully right now everybody's thinking, let's just get through this week and get to Peterborough. About lap 75, if they're racing up front, I think that goes out the window.
Yeah, Peterborough will be the farthest thing from their mind. So just getting lined up and ready to go for the Quick Firestarter Can-Am Midgets. They're set to go here in just a few moments' time. They're lining up there over off of corner number 4. Beautiful night here at Flamboro Speedway. I want to thank everyone that's in attendance here. And beautiful night for you to be out in the stands. A little bit of a breeze blowing in your face. Good thing it's not a dirt track, because if it were dusty, you wouldn't be enjoying that breeze right now. But great night here at Flamboro, and always a great facility to come to. The Caselli family does it first notch all the way, and enjoy every trip I've ever had here. Plenty of great seating area all the way around this facility. You see how close they can get up right in the pit area, right up against that fence.
Greg.
Yes.
You're starting problems over here in the pits, because everybody's trying to figure out how to get you a Flamburger, because you've never had one before, and they want to know what you want on your Flamburger. So what do you want on your Flamburger, bro?
Let's see. Ketchup, mustard, and relish.
All right, Gary Colling's on it. Coming your way, bud.
Oh, thank you, Gary.
The rest of you, you're on your own. You had Flamburgers before.
See, I could have had 20 of them, just lied and got myself a free
There you go. Well, you could have saved a couple more for your buddies up there.
Make it 21.
All right, guys, we're getting you one.
All right, we're ready to go with the first race of the night. First feature race, that is. These Can-Am midgets had qualifying heats earlier on in the evening, and they're set and ready to go with their main event. 25 laps will be the distance, and Kevin Small will line up things for you with these drivers. And they are fast around this place, are they not, Kevin?
The Quick Wick Can-Am midgets, really fast because they're super small. They don't look like they're going that fast, but when you stand up by the fence, you better make sure you're holding on because they have some serious power, and we're going to get geared up for the 25-lap feature event. Here's how they're going to line up. Starting on the pole from St. Catharines, Ontario, on the Gear Co. sponsored entry, it's the 68 of Paul Jorgensen. Starting in second from Milton, Ontario, in the Mike Westwood Fabrication sponsored entry, it's the 91 of Mike Westwood. Starting in third from St. Clements, Ontario, in the GPM Retail Design Group sponsored entry, it's the 11 of David Miller. Starting outside, row number 2 from Georgetown, Ontario, in the Mapleview Tire, Laurie Thomas Insurance sponsored entry, it's the 5 of Andrew Whelan. Starting in 5th from Guelph, Ontario, in the Burn Workwear PV Mart sponsored entry, pulling double duty tonight, it's the 72 of Junior Farley. Starting in 6th from Waterford, Ontario, in the Creative Edge One Stop Lube sponsored entry, it's the 55 of Corey Whittam. Starting in 7th from Toronto, Ontario, in the Larry's Engines sponsored entry, it is the 05 of Jody Bound. Starting in 8th from Orangeville, Ontario, in the Southfield Farms HMCW sponsored entry, it's the 57 of James Stanley. Starting 9th from Hillsdale, Ontario, in the Hahn Motorsports Chassis Works Knits by Brit sponsored entry, it's the 42 of Daniel Hahn. Starting in 10th from London, Ontario, in the Advantage Powder Coating sponsored entry, it's the 81 of Cassidy March. 11th from Palmerston, Ontario, in the Glen Stires Racing sponsored entry, it's the 15 of Bob Bailey. 12th from Bellwood, Ontario, in the Short Reed Auto Center sponsored entry, it's a 74 of Sherry Hogan. Starting in 13th from Guelph, Ontario, in the Factory Recreation sponsored entry, it's the 20 of Tyler Sagan. Starting 14th from Burlington, Ontario, in the Neely Auto Service sponsored entry, it's the 18 of Ryan Fraser. And rounding out the field from Newmarket, Ontario, in the Beatty's Distilleries sponsored entry, it's the 7 of Jeff Blackburn.
All right, race fans, we got the Quick Wick Firestarter Can-Am midgets coming at you 4 wide and fancy. Give them a wave. They're waving back at you, ready to do 25 laps of battle here at Flamboro.
750-pound cars with about 150 horsepower, 4-cylinder motorcycle motors in them. They make a ton of power for the size of the car. Nice wide racing slicks. They don't have to use a whole lot of brake in the corner. They just lift off, let it get set, and away they go. Believe it or not, these guys used to race at Delaware Speedway, Greg. Back up till the mid-'90s, yep.
Wow.
Back in the days of Mark Samet and Keith Dempster when they were the top dogs in the midgets, and they would run as fast as super lates.
That takes some fortitude there for you. I'm impressed. I did not know they ran at Delaware. Wow.
And that was the old bumpy Delaware.
Yeah,
you know?
No, even at that, you'd feel every little. That's impressive. So the field to get lined back up, ready to go. 25 laps the distance for this one. Jorgensen and Westwood on the front row. So to get things kicked off here for the Quick Wick Firestarter Can-Am midgets, we're going to do it with a Quick Wick Fire It Up. We'll give you the sights and sounds of the Can-Am midgets as they get set to come to life next time around here at Flamboro Speedway.
That 55 was Boss Carr in his heat race. Interesting to see if he can get to the front. He could be the one to be here tonight, Corey Whittam.
Well, we'll keep an eye on Jeff Blackburn. He's at the back, had problems, missed his heat, but a winner here previously. In fact, the most recent race. Is that correct, Kevin? Yeah. So we'll see what Jeff Blackburn can do from the back. So here we go, ready to go 25 laps the distance. The Quick Wick Firestarter Can-Am midgets. We'll do it with a Quick Wick Fire It Up. 2 puts us under the caution flag. This is how it went last night with a quick fired up. So every time we did one, we were back under the caution quickly.
I believe that was Cassidy March having problems up there in the 81. And did you see Whittem in the 55, 3 wide on the outside, just letting that thing eat in the penthouse lane. But he's going to have to give them all back.
That's the beautiful thing about Flamboro Speedway. There is room to make those 3 wide. We saw it in the qualifying heats as well. I see a Flamburger. I see a Flamburger. Thank you, Gary, and everyone that had a part in this. So we'll pass things over to Jamie and Kevin. They'll be calling things for the next 15 minutes.
I don't even get this. I don't even get this service on a regular night. This is unbelievable.
Greg's got to rehydrate here.
All right. Shall I take a bite? You don't want to hear me chew, though, so I'll mute it.
Your delivery person's not leaving until you give her the thumbs up seal of approval here.
You said mustard, ketchup, and relish. Yep.
Mustard, ketchup, relish. You did it just like he wanted it.
No, I added more to it.
He's got a little smile on his face. He's chewing.
Is that a little mustard dripping down there, too? That's the way.
Yeah.
Spice.
Yeah, what's the spice?
It's got a new relish there. It's made of red peppers.
That's what I thought. That's excellent. Have the red pepper sauce on that.
I mixed it with the green relish.
With the green, that's excellent. That is excellent. These guys might not think so in about an hour, but thank you for the spice.
Enjoy.
I'll give it 2 thumbs up.
There you go.
2 thumbs up. I hear the poutine's good. No, just kidding.
Oh, no. They were cold and the gravy's cold.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Gary Calling is a champ, isn't he?
Oh, he is.
What you don't know is Gary asked me, would Greg be cool to trade a Flamburger for his pay today? I said, oh, heck yeah, he would. If you deliver it, we'll take 2 weeks' pay from him for a Flamburger.
A 25-cent burger, Greg. That's not bad.
Can I give it back?
When did they start paying us? That's what I want to know.
No, we've never been paid, Jamie. All right, let's try it again. A quick, fired up for multiple reasons. One, the sights and sounds, and the other reason I got to finish this Flamburger. So here we go. The Can-Am Midget's back to the green.
Absolutely getting it done on the outside. Made a few passes. Now he's tucked in the line behind your leader, Jorgensen. And the 97 of Mike Westwood.
Yeah, here he goes again around the outside off of corner number 4. Trying to get that pass on Westwood to stick. He'll do it again down at 1 and 2. It's all Jorgensen out in front, side by side down the backstretch. Whittem slides into the second spot. Here he goes for the lead.
Whittem off of turn 4. A little bit of a wiggle from the 68 of Jorgensen on the bottom. They're side by side with the race lead. Whittem way out to the outside through 1 and 2. He's going to get a bit of a slingshot down the back straightaway. They're still side by side as they head into 3 and 4. Still side by side as they come off of turn 4. Give that lap to the 55 of Whittem as he edges out in front. He's going to try to complete the pass. We got a new race leader, the 55 of Corey Whittem.
Whittem shows the way. Jorgensen second, Westwood in third, but he's lost that spot now. David Miller scrambled around the outside as you see the top 8 or so. All still in one big pack. Tyler Hahn, Mike Westwood doing battle at the back. And the 7 that we were keeping an eye on, Jeff Blackburn, winner last time out. He is still in some heavy traffic at the back of the pack.
Some great racing action up in the top 8 there. When that pass for the lead took place with Whittem, the top 6 were all side by side going at it. Now we see Stanley in the 57 taking a look on Miller for that 3rd position.
Stanley's going to take a peek to the outside, but no dice as Miller shuts the door. Stanley's going to have to slide back in line. See the field starting to single file themselves out here, but keep an eye on that 57 of Stanley as he's looking real racy down the back straightaway, seeing if he can move up a couple spots and put that 57 up on the podium here as a complete lap number 8, now on to lap number 9.
All Corey Whittem right now, and then Jorgensen holding off Stanley. Miller, as Jorgensen's in that second spot. He's been up in the top 2 since the drop of the green flag. 15 laps still to go in this one.
Whittem's opened up a 2-second lead, 2.5 seconds now over Jorgensen. Jorgensen coming under fire. James Stanley's going to move to the inside. He'll scramble to the bottom of Jorgensen, but can't pull the pass off. Jorgensen just fast enough to keep that 57 at bay. Now Stanley's going to try the high groove through 1 and 2. You've also got Daniel Hahn right there, both of them trying to figure out a way around Paul Jorgensen.
Jorgensen holding on to that spot. Stanley on the top side trying to keep that momentum up. With these smaller racing machines, momentum is really important here, and Stanley can't quite keep the momentum up on the top side. Jorgensen just holding down the bottom. He's got some company of fast race cars behind him, the 42 of Daniel Hahn and the 72 of Junior Farley, all tucked up bumper to bumper here as they dive back into corner number 1 and 2.
Halfway home, Stanley takes the second spot away from Jorgensen. Here comes Hahn. Look low down in corner 3, backs it up. Farley right behind him, and then you got David Miller, who picked up a heat race win today. He's got that top wing flapped the wrong way. The toupee's flapping in the breeze right now, and it's lifted up back there in the 11 machine.
That can't help the downforce.
No.
That has got to be creating some lift in the 11 car. And I'll tell you what, if you're everyone not named Corey Whittem, you need a yellow, because Corey Whittem's got a 4.3 second lead right now. In the second half of this one, all he wants to do is see no cautions and bring it home with the win. And he's got that comfortable cushion right now.
You know, Whittem's really opened up the lead, but the battle is on for the 4th and 5th position. Junior Farley up on the top side trying to get around that 68 of Jorgensen. Farley running double duty here tonight, so this is the first of the double duties. And so far he's trying to see if he can creep that 72 machine into the 4th position, but Jorgensen is just holding that 68 car and just running that middle line. Can't quite find a way around that 68 car as they work lap number 18. Their race leader, the 55 of Whittem, now working through a little bit of lap traffic down the back straightaway.
Greg, I just don't get it. The 11 of David Miller's got the wing flipped the wrong way, and 2 laps ago he ran his fastest lap of the night. It just does not make any sense.
Well, he's holding on, doing all right. There's got to be a whole lot of lift in the front of that car. And
maybe that's going to be the new hot setup. I don't know.
It's not pretty, though.
Whittem again, that lead just under 3 or just under 4 seconds now to Stanley. But James Stanley running out of real estate.
Close racing there between Jorgensen and Farley right now. Farley in that burn. PV Martin, number 72 machine. Now he'll look low off of corner 4 down the front stretch as we are down to 4 laps left to go.
Farley now is going to look to the bottom in 3 and 4. He's going to bring that 72 machine down to the bottom, slides underneath the 68. We've got a new 4th place runner now, the 72 of Farley, as he picks up that spot. Now he's going to try to pull away as he's going to bring the 5 of Andrew Whelan alongside with him. They're going to close in here on 2 to go here this time around.
Corey Whittem through 1 and 2. Down the box stretch. Twin sticks in the air for the 55 of Whittem. Wheels through 3 and 4 and off to accept the white flag.
This has been a walk in the park. There were some dicey moves at the beginning. He had to go 3 wide, use the outside line, but since that pass for the lead, it's been all Corey Whittem. The Brantford driver will pick up the win for the Quick Can-Am Midgets.
You see that 55 of Corey Whittem, and we just got a special delivery up to the booth. Gary Collins got a new name. He's now the Flamburger Whisperer. Hot delivery just showed up here.
How about the Flamburglar?
The Flamburglar.
He's about the same size, so yeah, sure, let's go with it.
It's turned into all you can eat up here now. Do they serve ice cream? Because that's my Achilles heel.
There, I saw some down there.
Can Abby fly one to victory lane?
Probably.
I know. I'm like, what am I asking for?
Gary's on his way back down to the pits, I think, Clint.
I think if he took that camera out, he could put a chicken nugget in there and probably fly it down to us. But.
A Pepsi and a chicken nugget just for Clint.
Corey Whittam pulls it into quick victory lane here at Flamboro, and we'll give him a second to get the gear off and talk to him, guys. We'll also talk to Stanley and Hahn as well, our second and third place finishers. Corey Whittam, the defending champion of the series, said he wanted to move up, maybe do some other stuff, but he said he wants to win a back-to-back championship, is what he told me in Motorama in the wintertime. So we'll see how this works. He's definitely checking those boxes to get there, guys. So give me a second, and we'll get right back to you.
Beautiful looking car and race team there put together by Corey Whittam and crew, and they'll celebrate down in Quick Wick Firestarter Victory Lane, and we'll talk to all the top three. And here he goes, climbing out of the car. He's got the Epic Racewear checkered flag. Let's hear it for Corey Whittam.
So give Corey a second to get his helmet off. We'll jump in here with our winner's interview.
Quite the scene, Clint, to watch these cars whip around Flamboro. And for you in the infield, you really see the speed when you're right close to the track with these midgets.
Yeah, these cars are unbelievable. Corey, how would you describe these cars as someone who's never seen them before? When you tell someone, well, I race a Can-Am midget, and they say, what's that? What do you tell them?
They're affordable and fun. A lot of fun. Really fast. We got rules to make it nice and affordable. Anybody that wants to come out, we encourage it. Everybody in the club, we all act like family. We're all good to each other, help each other out, give each other parts.
I was telling the guys here as you were getting in here that you told me at Motorama you want to win another championship, and that's what you're doing. You're certainly on the way.
Yeah, hopefully. It's still early in the season, but 2 wins so far of 3 races and won all my heat races so far. So I'm doing good so far, yeah. All my changes seem to work. I've been at it for a few years now, so I got some experience now.
Right on. You got it done here tonight, Corey. Congrats.
Thank you very much.
Corey Whittam wins the race. Guys, give me 1 second. We'll jump in here with second and third.
As we watch that pass for the lead that Corey Whittam made around the outside of Jorgensen, and from there, he took off down the backstretch and pulled away, and the next 2 guys, they didn't see much of Corey Whittam after that.
Well, I got James Stanley here. James, solid race for you, but Corey was gone in his own area code, but still second place finishes a great run with this club.
Yeah, I usually struggle here, but we've been working hard to get this car fast. Dan Hahn's helped me a lot. We haven't really been doing much testing because it's so far away, but Corey's got this place figured out big time.
Boy, you certainly did. Congrats, man. Solid drive here tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks to HMCW, Miller Office Trailers, Oshwegan Speedway, Siltfield Farms, SMS, my dad for helping me in the pits all night, everybody at the Can-Am Club.
Right on, James Stanley, your second place. Give me a second, guys. We'll grab third.
Daniel Hahn will be that third place driver. Good run, beautiful looking car for Daniel Hahn in that 42. Clinton Jeffrey catching up with him. We see him down there in Quick Firestarter Victory Lane.
Dan, your car's been fast. You guys seem to always be in this. Corey's got the magic touch right now, but hey, anytime you get out on the podium, you're in that race and you got to be in it to win it, right?
Oh yeah, we're here every week to do one thing, that's win. Corey's got this place figured out. We don't travel much here, not in all of my family's history. We don't come here much, but we got a lot of something for them at the rest of the year, and we're kind of where we need to be right now at the start of the year is try to stay up in the points. We got 9 races in 7 weeks here, so the main thing is just trying to stay out of trouble, and coming from 9th and back there is I'm happy with the third. The field is getting extremely competitive with James Stanley. If he made one mistake, we were going to be here talking in second, right? So that man can wheel outside, inside, it didn't matter. So I just want to thank Miller Office Trailers, Oshwegan Speedway for hooking us up with the ATV for Terry. That plays a big part in our safety. HMCW, Hahn Motorsports, FCR, he makes my car go fast each and every week. That's Adam Hagen. Miller, I said them, sorry. Quick, just you guys, everyone here for coming out. We appreciate your support.
Right on, now you have it from your third place, Daniel Hahn, second place, James Stanley, and your winner, Corey Whittam, gets it done here, guys, in the Can-Am Midgets. We'll turn it up to you guys as we get ready to stage for the autograph session.
Well, Kevin, before we take a quick commercial break, a great race there for the Can-Am midgets. Clean and green, only a couple of small little incidences there, but that's what you want to see because we talked about it tonight at Flamboro Speedway. What are we going to get? A lot of cautions. We're going to see some clean racing. So far to start things, it's been great action.
So far, fantastic race. Race number 1 for the Quick Can-Am midgets. Went off a little bit more cautions, but tonight a fantastic race. And as always, like I said, they put on a fantastic show at Flamboro Speedway. And if this is anything to tell, the APC United Late Models are going to put on a fantastic race later on tonight.
We will get ready for that in just a moment. We'll take a short break here from Flamboro Speedway on GeForce TV.
For over 100 years, our company has been unique, a world leader in high-precision products, fully committed to energy efficiency and friction reduction. Today is the day to start a new chapter, a new step of our company. Today is the day to share our vision, our contribution, our identity. At the heart of our DNA, there is a name: Namerica. We are NTN, and we make the world Namerica. We are all together. We design precision engineering. We believe in a fluid, mobile, and harmonious society. We build positive mobility. We are NTN, and with willingness, conviction, and humility, we make the world Namerica.
Rev up your engines and get ready for some high-octane action. GeForce TV is your one-stop destination for all the best racing action across Ontario. With free live coverage of the APC Series, Bushwick Speedway, Southern Ontario Sprints, and much more. You won't miss a single moment of the excitement. Whether you're a die-hard fan or a casual viewer, GeForce TV has everything you need to stay up to date on the latest racing news and events. Head to our website at GeForceTV.net and start watching today.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick perfected fire. Quick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick retailer at quickquick.com.
The APC Series on GeForce TV is brought to you by Tiffany Gate. Indulge in a world of fresh meals, sides, salads, and more. Back live at Flamboro Speedway as Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet presents the APC United Late Model Series from Flamboro. Getting ready for the running of the Drysdale Racing Products 100. We've just completed the feature event for the Quick Firestarter Can-Am midgets, so one race left to go. And what they're going to do, they're going to bring the cars out onto the front stretch, line them up, and then we'll have an autograph session. So for those tuned in on GeForce TV, we're going to have a countdown clock while that's going on, and we'll show you some of the racing from Sunset from the opener for the APC Series. So we'll have some action for you here on GeForce while some of the fans here go down and meet their favorite drivers down trackside. Well, we have a moment. I'll get Daniel down in the truck. Daniel, if you wouldn't mind bringing up that calendar for the events coming up here at Flamboro Speedway and give Kevin a chance. There it is there, Kevin. Some of the events coming up in the coming weeks here at Flamboro, and maybe some other dates beyond that you'd like to see fans here tonight or watching at home come and visit and experience in person.
Yeah, if you want to come out, we weekly racing here at Flamboro Speedway. We've got a big one here next weekend, Saturday, June 17th. We've got the Don Biederman Memorial for the Outlaw Super Late models. So that's 75 laps. For the Super Late models, they're going to be alongside with the Young Drivers Canadian Vintage Modifieds, our Mini Stock Division, and our Pure Stock Division, Pure Stock Division, those cars come out in droves, especially, like you said earlier, Jamie, down at Delaware. No stranger here at Flamboro Speedway. Always entertaining, so that's a big one on June 17th. We've got the Meet the Drivers Night on June 24th. We've got all of our home track divisions. We've got a big one coming up here later on in the summer months as well. The APC United Late Model Series will be back on July 15th. And then our own running of the Gold Rush $10,000 to win for the Pro Late Models, 123 laps, Saturday, July 29th, presented by Quick Fire Starters. So lots of good racing coming up here at Flamboro Speedway. And if you want to come join us, check us out. Racing starts 6:30 every Saturday night.
And I believe I saw an announcement earlier this week. You guys have announced a midweek show for late August. I love those Flamboro Speedway midweek shows.
Yeah, we're working on putting everything together for that midweek show. Basically, it's going to be one of our makeups from our early rainouts. That's going to be Wednesday, August 16th, pending approval as per Gary Calling. But as of right now, Wednesday, August 16th at 6:30, we're going to have our Pro Late Model Division, Super Stocks, Mini Stocks, Pure Stocks. Time's still going to be pending, but it's going to be a fantastic race on a Wednesday night. Who doesn't love to go racing midweek?
I remember the first time they did the Gold Rush, it was the middle of the week. And who would have thought you'd have 3,000 people at Flamboro to watch Kenny Wallace on a Wednesday or something? They did it for a couple years, and it was successful. So I think midweek shows can work as long as you get people here, get them entertained, and get them on their way at a decent time so they can all go to work the next day. I know you guys do that a lot with Oswego. I saw the Pinty's double header there is a Monday, Tuesday, and I'm hoping to come to both nights and still go to work on Tuesday.
Well, and that's the thing. And then the Wednesday night, you can come here, and we've got plenty of racing coming up that week. So,
guys, I just want to jump in on that a bit, too. When you look at what we do with the midweek shows at Oswego, Kevin, when you think about it here, you have so many other tracks racing on Saturday nights, and what a better chance to get everybody out. I mean, when we did the Outlaws at Oswego, we needed all the tracks to come. And if we did it on a Friday or Saturday, we weren't going to get those advantages. So I think Wednesday's a great deal to get everybody out who hasn't gotten a chance to get out.
And from a selfish standpoint, Clint, I'm sure you'll relate to this, it almost becomes like an industry night for the people that work in it.
Absolutely.
Because we got nothing else to do on a Wednesday but go to the racetrack, and you get to see the guys that you don't normally see Fridays and Saturday nights because they're off doing their things, whether it be tech staff or whatever, or at other tracks.
Yeah, it's a great idea, and like you said, Clinton, I know you guys down at Oswego, you're putting on the Monday and the Tuesday. You can come out here on the Wednesday night. You take a break on the Thursday, Friday night. You can go to Delaware, Saturday into Flamboro. You can basically make it a whole week-long racing here in Southern Ontario, so it's going to be a lot of fun later on the summer.
I think Delaware has their concert that Thursday, too, so we got something to do every day of the week.
There you go. It's a full week of racing action in Southern Ontario.
Well, I got that experience a few weeks ago. I knocked one off the bucket list and went to the Indy 500. So we planned on going to the Little 500 on the Saturday. We bought tickets and we went to the Little 500. And there was a couple metal bands we wanted to see that were playing in town on the Friday. And the Monday we're getting ready to leave. I said, it's Indianapolis on Indy 500 week. There's got to be something racing on Thursday. Sure enough, USAC sprints and midgets on the dirt. Off we go.
That Indy 500 experience, talk about that. Just the chill of seeing the green flag in that event and all those people.
All those people. And it's, I would say 90% of the people there, they're not IndyCar fans.
Right.
They're Indy 500 fans. Like, there was people we were sitting next to, we talked to, and the only Indy races they'd ever been to were at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And it blows me away because, I travel all over the place. But it was just, it was different. If you've never been to the Speedway itself, to check the museum out for a couple hours is breathtaking, some of the stuff in there. And
it's not that far away to get to from here, really.
And actually, normally you would take 69 down through Fort Wayne. We found out they've got an extension now from Toledo to Fort Wayne that'll cut about 40 minutes off your drive.
Oh, really?
So you go across the border in Detroit or even in Port Huron, go down 94 or 75 into Toledo. You get on 24 and go to Fort Wayne, and you're all set. And like I said, it cuts half an hour, 40 minutes off the drive.
Yeah, because 69 there for a while, you feel like, okay, I'm really not getting there as quick as I should be. If I could just cut through here, and But it's a nice trip there, and like you said, if you have a chance even to be there when the 500's not running, check out the museum. They do tours around the Speedway. They take you in a bus. I've had the chance to do that. Go up in the pagoda, go to Victory Lane, the media center. It's something cool to
there's
to
just
see.
so many racetracks within an hour of there. Like you can go racing 5 nights a week if you want.
And a good time to go to that is PRI. PRI weekend is we went there, and it happened that the weather was good because that's in December, early December, but it was good. And
I will go the other way. I prefer it when PRI in December was in Orlando.
Yes.
just
it made more sense.
You can say whatever you want about Indianapolis in December. I'll take Orlando every day of the week. And even there, when you went to Orlando, the couple years they had it down there, they ran short track races on the Thursday night or whatever at Orlando Speed World. Got to go watch the USAC cars there. So they're not running anything at PRI in December, that's for sure.
No, that's for sure. So we see the APC drivers pulling out onto the racetrack, heading out for this autograph session. We've talked about a lot of the local racing, and I'll tell you what, if you're a regular watcher on GeForce TV, obviously the fans here can relate to it because they're here tonight. But if you're a GeForce TV watcher and you haven't been out to the racetrack in a while and you're able to, get out to a local racetrack, support them. And just something as simple as last night, I'll tell you a brief little story. Things got a little late last night. We had some cautions and that. And it got to the point, it's like, okay, Adam, take over. I got to get to the washroom. We don't have a washroom in the tower. So I get down there during the crate feature, the last few laps, and I just stood by the fence. And I don't remember as an announcer the last time I stood down by the fence and watched the cars go by. And it was like it took me back in time to, that's why I love this.
Exactly.
And just that feeling, sitting in the stands, hearing it, smelling it, feeling it. I couldn't hear Adam Ross, which made it even better. It's just such an experience.
Well, guys, I got Kyle Steckley here. Sorry to jump in there. Kyle, you got so much going on today. Looks like you're going to start up front after the redraw. Let's talk about how things are going down in Quebec. What do you know about that? I hear things aren't going so good.
Yeah, I know Trayton was leading most of the race, and then there was a late race caution, and unfortunately I think Mark and him got into it a little bit. Cameron ended up winning. I'm not sure where Trayton ended up. I'm pretty sure second, so still a good points day for them. It's been a great season for 22 racing, and hopefully we can run good here today. Qualifying was definitely a bit of a struggle. Tires have been a bit all over the place this year, but hopefully we'll get her dialed in for 100 laps here, and starting up front definitely helps.
We talked to you today, and you talked about how it was going to cool off. The cloud cover looks like it's come in. Is that what you're set up for here?
I hope so. I think so. We made some good adjustments there, and qualifying definitely wasn't great, but I think if we get our tires a bit better, then we'll be right there and be able to contend for the win. Just got to save the car as it's going to keep getting cooler and cooler here tonight, and I think we're going to be good at the end.
Right on. Kyle Steckley, ladies and gentlemen, won his first ever APC race here. And we'll get over here and talk to Sean Chenoweth, too. You can have your Kit Kat. They're having Flamburgers up in the tower, so you can absolutely have a chocolate bar. It's okay if your chocolate's stuck in your mouth, Sean. We'll let you get through it. He's good. Sean Chenoweth here. Sean, safe to say you've kind of had a couple up and down years. You rocket fast, then you seem to struggle, and I only say that because you're on Facebook putting it out there. But now you've had a couple good runs at Delaware. How do you feel tonight back at what I would consider your home track?
We're feeling pretty good tonight. We've been really good at Delaware with our super stock program. Our late model program still isn't where it needs to be, but slowly making strides with it. I'm in a pretty tough crowd of guys around me right now tonight, but I think if we get rolling and we can keep it clean for the first 50, we got something for them.
What's a little trick you may know at Float Flamboro here? You might not tell, but you got something up your sleeve that maybe these guys who don't race here weekly know?
No, there's not really many tricks that guy in the 84 doesn't know, or the 22. He's been here enough in the last couple of years, and Rick's always been fast. So I got nothing up my sleeve. Just I wish they would all go to the bottom and give me the front row on the outside. Then I could at least lead a little bit.
Jack, just pan that way and look at Jared Fitzpatrick and all them guys saying, yeah, sure, buddy. Not going to happen. Sean, good luck tonight.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it, guys.
Sean Chenoweth, guys, one of the guys we're definitely going to have to watch. He knows his way around here.
I think the secret might be the Kit Kat bar.
It's worth 2 cents.
I was laughing earlier because I thought he was going to say there's no tricks out here, but conspicuously enough, when Jack and I were walking around everybody was shutting the hoods when the camera came by. So something's going on. How about Jake the Snake? Let's talk to Sheridan before we get into our autograph session. Jake, how are you feeling tonight? I mean, you're another guy who's had some up and down seasons. You got speed. It all depends on the night, though.
Yeah, it's tough. We're in a bit of a tough spot here today. We're fighting this thing in practice quite a bit, so not super confident here so far. We got definitely a solid piece, like we're in qualified top 5, so solid that way. We can keep our head on straight, maybe keep her straight in front of us here. Maybe we'll have a good chance for some track position, but we're struggling. We had a really good card. Sunset just didn't quite capitalize the way we needed to, so tough year to the Delaware program. That's about all I got to say, Clinton. We're just starting out. Lots of year left.
There is a lot of year left. This is only race number 2. That'll do things down trackside here. We're going to get the fans ready to come down. Viewers at home, we're going to flip it over to race number 1 at Sunset on split screen, and you guys can check that out. Down here, we'll be welcoming everybody on the front straightaway for an autograph session. So hang tight, live viewers on G-Force, and we've got some cool stuff coming up for you.
The Peshmanera with the green flag in hand, and it is out. We're underway with the Dayco 150. An even start, door to door, down into 1 and 2. Jake Sheridan with a big launch down the backstretch.
Sheridan on the outside. It's Rick Spencer-Walt to the bottom. They're stacked up sideways behind them. Wicket side by side with Lawrence. And how about Jake the Snake Sheridan? Going to get it done on the outside.
You know, he talked about, boy, I'm glad I didn't draw the pole. I didn't want to get out there and pace the field. Here's Jake Sheridan getting out there, pacing the field in that 52. We remain side by side for the 3rd spot. Joe Lawrence up on the high side gets the advantage over Blair Wicket in the 97. Wicket going to fall back in line to the top 4, nose to tail, single file.
Jake Sheridan, he was successful here at the Sunset season opener a couple weeks ago. Took that pro late model to victory lane. Won last Friday at Delaware. Again, the knock on Jake Sheridan is it's not the speed the first 50 laps. It's can he keep those tires under that car for the last 50? He's the one setting the pace out front. Lead Rick Spencer-Walt by a car length and a half.
Top 4 nose to tail, and then they're side by side. Stoddy and Benedict. Stoddy in the 17, Benedict in the 54, Tom Gibbons in the 10, Fitzpatrick in the 84. Neither of them able to clear their competition. Look at Kyle Steckley immediately in that 22, just settled back single file. He could be up on the outside charging hard, but I think he sees the value in hanging out on the bottom of the racetrack and just running his line all by himself.
Well, he said in pre-race introductions there when Clint had a word with him just how important saving tires was going to be here tonight. We'll see how much that youngster has learned here. Second full tour of duty on the APC Tour for him in 2023. He came runner-up last year to J.R. Fitzpatrick in the championship.
Rick Spencer-Walt is sizing up our race leader, Jake Sheridan. Sheridan is running his own line out there. Spencer-Walt is running a bit of a different line. He goes in higher on the racetrack, keeps the car up high, and then kind of turns the car down. Now he's running up high and staying up in that outside groove.
He left the bottom lane open for Joe Lawrence, but Lawrence not able to squeeze that 78 in there. Front 4 single file, and that great battle for 5th. Stoddy is on the bottom, Benedict up top. Benedict cut his teeth here at Sunset Speedway. Stoddy's home track is Sauble Raceway, and they are still side by side. They've been like this, door handle to door handle for the last 4 or 5 laps.
The leaders having their way. Single file, 1st through 4th. They're still doubled up. Danny Benedict on the high side. Josh Stoddy down low, and we are under yellow. We got a few cars turned around off of turn number 4. Junior Farley is one of them. Eric Della Riva.
Looks like Chenoweth on the outside there. He will get rolling.
And Tyler DiVincenzo involved as well.
Just before that, I mean, JR didn't have anywhere to go because Benedict and the 17 were side by side, but Tom Gibbons was feeding it to him. Tom Gibbons has places to go here tonight, Adam.
Yeah, he definitely seems to as the pace truck gets out there and picks up the field. Sean Chenoweth down pit road to the attention of his crew. A little bit of damage on the right front corner of Chenoweth's 89C. The crew flagging him down. It looks like he's in pit stall number 1 down there.
Flag set to fly on the Dayco 150, 10 laps in the books. We're off and running. Sheridan gets the lead on the break on the outside, and Lawrence finds himself in second. Rick Spencer-Walt is in some trouble, racing for third with Blair Wickett.
Rick Spencer-Walt was just a long way off the back bumper of Jake Sheridan there for that start. Left a big gap and had an uphill battle. He's going to be able to clear Blair Wickett most likely. Wickett will try to slot in line, but Danny Benedict going to drive down deep on the outside, and he'll be side by side with Blair Wickett. So as much as these drivers want to sort out single file, there's always that selfish pride. They never want to give up the battle.
Now you've got Stoddy racing J.R. Fitzpatrick, and Fitzpatrick to the outside here clears Stoddy. Everybody lining up to go to the outside of primetime Josh Stoddy. Benedict showed how it was done, then Fitzpatrick did.
Sheridan slow. Problem for Jake Sheridan in the 52. What just happened there? He all but lifted up at turn 2.
Seems to be back up and running now. He's got that Cameron crane machine on the outside. And the 604 engine by Mom of Joe Lawrence on the inside in the 78.
So that'll be a curious one to follow. Jake Sheridan back up to speed out there. Rick Spencer-Walt to the outside of Blair Wickett, battling for the third spot. That's really bunched up the top 6 cars back to Fitzpatrick. Then a tiny gap until you get to the 3 of Shea Gemmel running in 7th.
Benedict's going to try to roll the outside on Blair Wickett. He's pulled even with the Polar Blair through 1 and 2. Wickett again seems to be pretty good off the corner. Able to get a half a car length back every time on Benedict. Now they're side by side into 1.
Well, Wickett needs for Rick Spencer-Walt to get further away. He needs to be able to clear Benedict and slide up in front of him. But every time he gets close to clearing Benedict, they close in on Rick Spencer-Walt, so he still can't move up the racetrack.
Well, Benedict's now to the point where he can control that exit by Wickett and keep him pinched down. He does just that. Get 4th spot to Denny Benedict. He still leaves the bottom open for Wickett. Wickett can't capitalize.
No, he sure can. Fitzpatrick drives to the outside of the 97 machine. Wickett, I think smart money will be to slow up and get in line. Blair Wickett losing a few spots in that transaction, but he's no longer abusing the right rear tire on that 97 machine.
You got to go to the whip, though, because the 3 of Shea Gemmel is right there. And putting the heat on that 97 hours. Benedict to 3rd. He'll get to the inside of Rick Spencer-Walt. They'll race door handle off turn 4. Spencer-Walt squirts out front. Holds 3rd for the time being, but Benedict ain't going anywhere.
Quite a mishap further back between Shea Gemmel and the 3, the 22 of Kyle Steckley and the 10 of Tom Gibbons. All 3 of those cars getting squirrely last time through 3 and 4. They continue to battle, but up front, oh, Danny Benedict makes some contact with Joe Lawrence in the 78. So for the second time, the driver battling on the inside actually caught the car ahead of the one he was battling and slowed himself down.
Lawrence just trying to run perfect circles in front of that race for 3rd. Benedict and the 31 of Spencer-Walt, they've been door handle to door handle for the last 5 or 6 laps now.
I think Blair Wickett has a right front tire going down in that 97 machine. He's off the pace and the car just won't turn. Now it's starting to spark a little bit, so the 97 machine's going to be out there hoping for a yellow flag.
I wonder if that was some of the contact maybe that flattened that tire. Oh, the 94 almost got into him.
Wickett trying to get out of the way in that 97 machine. The hard thing is, you want to get down to pit road, but the hardest thing to do with a flat right front is turn left.
So we'll see what Wicked does. Does he go to the pits or does he try to limp it and hope for a caution?
I have a feeling he's going to be the caution here before too long. They still battle side by side for the third spot. Danny Benedict down low. Rick Spencer Walt up high at the stripe. It is Benedict by a nose, and he closes in again on Joe Lawrence in the 78.
J.R. Fitzpatrick, the wily veteran, just hanging in line behind those two. Sitting fifth, no hurry. 30 laps in the books of the 150 that'll make up the Dayco 150. Again, we'll see a competition yellow sometime around the halfway point. How about this? Benedict able to root the 78 up off the bottom. He'll waltz by into second place.
He had to work that car pretty hard. Whoa! Big trouble in front of Jake Sheridan, and that's the 97 of Blair Wickett trying to get out of the way.
Now he's going to pit now that he is a lap down. He almost caused some big problems for the leaders. Tough break for Blair Wickett. They're going to put that emergency right front on, and this night went from bad to worse here in the span of a couple laps.
Yeah, they're struggling to get the jack underneath. They finally get the jack in there, and they'll pick up that 97 machine. He's lost one lap, about to be two, as Danny Benedict is closed in on race leader Jake Sheridan, putting pressure on for the top spot.
3 car lengths back to J.R. Fitzpatrick in third. Fourth is Joe Lawrence. Fifth, Rick Spencer Walt. And it's Shea Gemmel in sixth. Kyle Steckley seventh. Tom Gibbons eighth. Eric Della Riva in ninth. And rounding out the top 10, Josh Stoddy. Surprising on a couple things. First of all, great run by Eric Della Riva into the top 10. And I thought we were going to see more speed out of the 17, Adam.
You know what? He might be the smartest driver out there, getting back to the pack and just turning some laps. So we'll see. It's still early in the going here, 150 laps the distance. Danny Benedict starting to flex some muscle. They've got an advantage over J.R. Fitzpatrick of about 10 car lengths. So the top two streaked away to an advantage. Blair Wickett coming back onto the racetrack.
Still almost half a lap away from getting into lap traffic. It'll be Mike Bentley first in the 51, but Jake Sheridan is trying to run perfect circles in that Pride Seeds Cameron Crane sponsored entry, and here comes Benedict.
Benedict to the inside. Shows that nose. It is tough to complete a pass here at Sunset Speedway. You can get down to the bottom, but getting back to the power is a real challenge. Benedict backed up turn 3 and 4 to try to get a run. He'll tuck back in line behind the 52 machine. Blair Wickett 5 laps down. That mishap with the right front cost our pole sitter 5 laps.
Fitzpatrick still a couple car lengths off the back bumper of Danny Benedict. Joe Lawrence holding off Rick Spencer Walt. The top 5 have kind of got away by a few car lengths over Shea Gemmel, who leads the next group of 5 cars or 6 cars.
J.R. Fitzpatrick is gobbling up that distance the last lap. It's about a 1/10 of a second faster than the race leader, so it's not a crazy difference as Danny Benedict taking another run at Jake Sheridan. The 54 down low is Benedict. The 52 up high is Sheridan, and J.R. Fitzpatrick loves this battle as he continues to close in.
That time a little contact out of turn 4. Benedict chewing on the left rear of Sheridan's number 52. But Sheridan still holds serve all down the backstretch.
Yeah, Jake Sheridan up high. It's just a more comfortable line. You don't have to slow the car down quite as much. You can maintain that momentum, get back to the throttle a little easier up high than you can on the bottom. And he continues to show that advantage over Benedict as Fitzpatrick closes that gap.
I think the biggest thing you could do is if you got a loose race car, you send it up to the second groove and save your tires just a bit by not having to cut them as hard as that 54 is on the bottom. Benedict now still side by side with Sheridan.
He got a good run through 3 and 4. Sheridan got a better run off the corner, but Benedict still in a good position. Let's see if he can get a little further up on the 52 as Sheridan pinching down just a little bit on the Benedict 54. There's no marks on either side of these race cars. That's good, hard, clean racing.
Sheridan doing a good job out front. in that Pride Seeds machine. Keeping that 54, North Country Property Maintenance Moon 1. Car of Danny Benedict at bay, and now here comes the champ. J.R. Fitzpatrick looking to join that fight for the lead.
Benedict has not been able to get a nose out front at all. He's able to close in to the left front tire of Jake Sheridan, but has not been able to nose out ahead. He's got to make that decision soon, whether to drive that car as hard as he can for a lap or two to try to get there, or back off and fall back in line. And it looks like he's choosing to drive that car hard as he pulls up ever farther on the 52 of Sheridan.
Oh, we've hit the 50 lap mark, 100 to go. This time at the line, still Sheridan by inches. Benedict second, Fitzpatrick third, Lawrence fourth, Rick Spencer-Walt fifth. Then it's a straightaway back to a new sixth place car, 22 of Kyle Steckley. Up into sixth, Tom Gibbons seventh, Stoddy eighth, Chenoweth ninth, and rounding out the top 10, Shea Gemmel. So Gemmel's lost a few spots since last we checked in on that battle. And here comes Fitzpatrick as we've got a new leader out front.
Finally, Danny Benedict was able to clear the 52 with Jake Sheridan. He pulls away by a few car lengths. Now J.R. Fitzpatrick has a decision to make. How aggressive does he want to be as Mike Bentley peels off the racetrack to the attention of his crew just off of turn 4?
Since that 54 Benedict got by, he was even. Now he is leaving. Already put 4 car lengths between himself and Jake Sheridan, with Fitzpatrick still trying to figure out a way to the silver medal spot.
Watching a battle deep in the field, a couple of cars who will be the first ones to be encountered by the race leaders. Corey Luciano in the 94 got around Tyler DiVincenzo in the 97D. It was a battle for the 13th spot on the racetrack, but he can see those leaders coming. Surely a spotter is on the radio saying, hey, if you've got anything there in reserve, you better start to use it.
And again, rookie Luciano in that 94. Got his feet wet at the World Series of Asphalt Racing in New Smyrna this year. Former Formula driver, did some F2000 racing in Canada and in Europe, and now stepping up to the stock cars here on the APC Tour. And the leaders are about a straightaway behind Luciano. They've got DiVincenzo to deal with first.
Throughout the field, everybody is settled in. Little surprise with Shea Gemmel dropping as far back as he is in that APC Canusa number 3. We talked about Josh Stoddy being a little further back than we thought he would be. I think Stoddy has a bit more race car than he's showing, but he does have a bit of a push. He can drive down into the corner and hit his mark, but the front end seems to really wash up the racetrack on throttle.
Something has definitely gone awry on that 3 car. He just cannot get through the middle of the corners now. Blair Wickett goes under him now. And you see that Sheridan Fitzpatrick battle. There's Shea Gemmel.
Down the front straightaway, Danny Benedict, his advantage is just under a second over the 52 of Jake Sheridan. J.R. Fitzpatrick closed that gap on Sheridan, but has not made a move, hasn't even shown a nose on the 52 machine. Joe Lawrence in the 4th spot, Rick Spencer-Walt in 5th in that 31 machine. They're keeping the leader in their sights. Nobody really willing to get out of line and push their race car.
Somewhere in the 10 lap range, we're going to see our competition caution. These teams will be allowed to refuel. They must stay on the same 4 tires they started on. They'll do some minor chassis adjustments as well. And we'll see what these guys can figure out from the first half to the second half. I know the 3 car, I'm sure their crew's just chomping at the bit to get their hands on that thing.
You know, for them, they've got to focus on staying on the lead lap for the next 10 laps. Danny Benedict just over a straightaway behind Shea Gemmel in that number 3, so I'm not sure if he'd be able to get there. J.R. Fitzpatrick starting to pick up the wick a little bit in the 84. He looks to the inside of Sheridan down through 1 and 2.
He piles it into 1 and 2. Sheridan, good run off. Keeps the 84 at bay. But we saw this with Benedict. You can pass the 52 on the bottom. You're just going to have to work for it.
It can be done. So Luciano, there was a little bit of contact between Danny Benedict and the 94. Luciano, Benedict got to the inside, but gave him a little nudge along the way. Now they're side-by-side racing behind that 94 machine. So which way is he going to go? Who's going to find the opening? It looks like Jake Sheridan, but J.R. Fitzpatrick not giving up the bottom.
Luciano's going to stay in the bottom. Sheridan will go to the outside. Now, Fitzpatrick's got to figure out plan B. He'll tuck in the line behind Sheridan real quick and try to work with Sheridan around the 94 before they continue that battle for second, and getting close to that halfway break, Adam. And I think Shea Gamble might survive.
It looks like he will, and look at that second big pack, which is 6th all the way back to 10th. Tom Gibbons running 7th, really keeping the pressure on Kyle Steckley. Sean Chenoweth has sort of come to life in that 89C after being involved in that first yellow. Chenoweth showing some speed out there.
And of course the 17 of style. Oh, we got one around. That's Luciano off turn 2. And on lap 72, this might be the perfect time for, I would guess, the competition yellow.
It would make sense. Clinton Jeffrey, I know you had your headset off at this point. During the very start of that green flag run, Jake Sheridan slowed off of turn 2, almost as if he thought the yellow flag came out. Gave up the lead momentarily, but charged to take it back, maybe during this break once the work is done.
Green in the air. Benedict gets a great launch on the outside. He's going to clear Fitzpatrick down into 1, and now Fitzpatrick has to deal with Jake Sheridan again, the 52 on the outside. It's the 84 of Fitzpatrick down low. Fitzpatrick bobbles just a bit off on exit, and that'll allow Sheridan to inch out front. Now Sheridan will close the deal off turn 2.
Sheridan really choosing to drive that car hard down into the corner, clearing that 84 of Fitzpatrick. Rick Spencer-Walt had a look to the outside of the 84, wasn't able to make anything materialize there.
Field getting strung out again. Lawrence sits 5th. Tom Gibbons now up to 6th. Steckley 7th. Battle for 8th. Chenoweth and Stoddy. Rounding out top 10, Eric Della Riva.
Wow, Shea Gemmel brushing the outside wall, I believe, on the front straightaway. A lot of sparks coming off those cars as we're about to get to the 75th lap. The one thing they try to do with these midway breaks is make sure there's no position changes going on. So they'll give it a lap or so usually to settle things out. And right now, Sean Chenoweth really the only battle out there. And sure enough, they throw that yellow flag. There was a Blair Wickett alongside Shea Gemmel, but as we know, that was not a battle for position, as Blair Wickett a number of laps down.
So one less now, though.
Wickett all sorts of sideways through turn number 2 in that 97 machine. Nice save and a nice job by Joe Lawrence, sort of hanging back and giving him time, Jamie, to gather that car in.
So those guys do on the outside. Della Riva, it's paying off for him. Definitely paid off for Benedict. He is gone. Meanwhile, Chenoweth side by side with Della Riva. Della Riva is going to take the spot. Now they're lined up on the outside of Chenoweth, including Sheridan and J.R. Fitzpatrick. You got the 31 of Rick Spencer-Walt down on the bottom.
Well, the big advantage for Benedict was having Sean Chenoweth side by side with Della Riva. A couple of cars that were deeper in the top 10 at best. and they're just a hair off the pace, so it allowed Benedict to open an advantage. Now that Della Riva is able to run the whole racetrack in the racing line, he's sort of keeping pace with the race leader, but still not quite as quick as the 52, the 84 of Fitzpatrick.
A little bit of contact there. Rick Spencer-Walt rooting the 89 up off the bottom of turn 2. Rick Spencer-Walt places to go in that 2-speed motorsports machine.
Well, and that may be the case, but he won't be able to be physical with Sean Chenoweth. Chenoweth is a veteran of the sport. He'll give you room for your race car. He'll race you clean. But if he feels that you're doing him dirty in any way, you will see a different Sean Chenoweth.
Chenoweth looks like he's going to hold the spot for now. Rick Spencer-Walt still working at the bottom. He's got Fitzpatrick behind him. The outside groove is Tom Gibbons and Josh Stoddy. A couple of Sauble Speedway regulars working the outside groove. Blair Wickett's hanging with them, but he is many laps down.
Tom Gibbons is impressive in his charge on the outside. Gets around Rick Spencer-Walt. Now he's having a look on the 89C of Sean Chenoweth. This is a different Tom Gibbons than we're used to watching here in the APC series.
He's working in that Graham family Kart Quest Tom Gibbons concrete finishing machine on the high side of Chenoweth.
They're not only running towards the front, but they're comfortable out there. Jake Sheridan hasn't been able to make a move, or has chosen not to make a move on the 74 of Della Riva. He's all by his lonesome there in that second spot.
This is really going to change things the next time we do 150 laps at Sauble. My guess is you're going to get maybe half the takers on pit road that we did here tonight.
You know, the decision you make today in racing that leads you to great things can lead you to terrible results tomorrow.
Spencer-Walt racing with Blair Wickett. Wickett again many laps down. And I thought we'd see a little more out of the 31 after that restart. Sitting just outside the top 5 right now. Back in 6th spot.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised myself. In every APC race prior to now at Sunset Speedway, Danny Benedict would have just been the victor. We have completed 100 laps in the Dayco 150, but there's still 50 laps to go.
Round number 1 of the NTN Triple Crown, a heavyweight championship belt up for grabs. $15,000 in extra point money put in by NTN as part of this program. 3-race series kicking off with the Dayco 150 here tonight again. Race 2 will be long weekend in August at Sauble for 150 laps. And the final Triple Crown event, Great Canadian 200 at Delaware, where we crown the champion as well.
Joe Lawrence continues to pour the pressure on Josh Stoddy in the 17. Keeps looking to the inside, up off of turn number 2. Tyler DiVincenzo goes a lap down. He had been put back on the lead lap with the free pass, but he loses that lap on the racetrack. Danny Benedict goes by, and now Eric Della Riva looking to the outside of the 97D.
Well, we didn't talk much about Eric Della Riva in pre-race festivities, but now that he's got the track position, that 74 is working pretty good. Dale Shaw turning the controls of that car, one of the Shaw Motorsports machines, and Della Riva sitting a solid second right now. The question is, does he have anything left here for Danny Benedict?
Hard to say. As we look at the clock, well, they were just going through some slower traffic. Danny's last lap was a 15-1. Della Riva's last lap was a 15-1. They're swapping laps here. But further back, Rick Spencer-Walt is wicked loose through 1 and 2 as he went around the slower car of DiVincenzo. Really has his hands full driving that 31 machine.
See what Jordan Lawrence does here in that 78. He's tucked up underneath the 17 of Stoddy. Stoddy trying to figure out a way around the lap car of Blair Wickett. Here comes Lawrence now piling it onto the inside.
Yeah, Lawrence drove it deep down into 3 after getting a great run off of turn 2. He'll clear the 17 as Stoddy set his sights on the lap car of Blair Wickett. At least hope that Blair Wickett can open the door on Rick Spencer-Walt, and maybe Joe Lawrence can pick up a cheap one.
Tough break for Blair Wickett. He had that right front go down, and if that right front hadn't went down, we'd be talking about him being up in the top 5, I think, here tonight. Had a solid car, was quick in qualifying. He's got Spencer Walt kicked to the outside. And what's Joe Lawrence going to do behind that battle?
You know, I believe you might be right, but on the bright side, Blair Wickett, every mishap he's had for the last few years has cost him thousands of dollars. At least this one only cost him a right front tire, so he's got to feel good with the speed he's got in the 97, and he's still able to be out on the racetrack turning competitive laps. But Rick Spencer Walt would have to be a little bit frustrated with the car many laps down, racing him pretty hard out there on the track.
Tell you, that 10 car, Tom Gibbons, he must have been hitting the sim all winter. He has found some speed in that 10 machine, sitting fourth right now and going after Jake Sheridan. There you see Rick Spencer Walt still battling with Blair Wickett and the 78 of Lawrence right behind him, but in front of them it's the 10 of Gibbons, and he is putting the heat on the 52.
Well, all at second, third, and fourth, slowly closing the gap on the race leader. Benedict a little bit quicker that lap. He was 0.2 of a second faster that lap than he was the lap before in the 54 machine.
It's about a 1 second lead from Benedict back to Della Riva. And for either one of those drivers, it'd be their first ever APC feature win. And who would have thunk that Danny Benedict's never been to victory lane yet for all the speed he's had over the years? Looking to close the deal here tonight.
Just never had the good fortune as Joe Lawrence clears the 31 of Rick Spencer Walt. Give Joe Lawrence that position. 6th spot on the racetrack to the 78 machine, but he's got a long way to go to catch up to the top 5.
He definitely needs some yellows to help him with that 78. Really come to life here in the second half of this race. Now Stoddy putting the heat on Spencer Walt as well. That's the race for 7th. And Adam, before this race, if I had told you we'd be 32 laps to go, J.R. Fitzpatrick hasn't hit anything and is sitting 8th. Would you buy it?
Yeah, without a mishap at all in the 84. I was just thinking an unlikely top 5. But the extra distance caused all these teams to think differently, bring a different setup to the racetrack. Obviously, some of it worked to their benefit, and some of it did not, as Tyler DiVincenzo down pit lane in the 97D.
There you see Stoddy going at it. Through turns 1 and 2 with Rick Spencer Walt. Stoddy looks like he's going to get the position on the bottom here. Leader having a tough time getting around Luciano in that.
Now, yeah, Luciano finally opened up the bottom to the race leader and gave Danny Benedict room to drive on in. So, sportsmanlike move by Luciano in the 94. We're watching Blair Wickett. I mean, Blair Wickett is the fastest car on the racetrack. He has been able to go out there and pass a lot of machinery.
Well, he started tail end of the cars on the lead lap, all but 3 of them, I believe. And has been mowing them up, or picking them up, laying them down, just past Chenoweth.
It'll be fun to watch in the last 10 or 15 laps if Wickett's car starts to fall off, because he's been driving it as hard as he has. That's what the concern is. That's what the drivers near the front have been doing. Conserve, conserve, conserve. Obviously, Blair Wickett has not been conserving out there, but it doesn't seem to be hurting the race car.
Well, usually those emergency tires got a lot of laps on them before they even see the car. So Blair Wickett, that 97 is working well tonight again. A shame he got behind so early with that flat tire. There you see Stoddy still going at it with Rick Spencer Walt. 25 laps to go. This has been a great duel. Down the back stretching into 3, still Spencer Walt on the outside, and Stoddy's been working away on that lower line.
It's a battle for the 7th and 8th spot. In 9th, right behind them, is J.R. Fitzpatrick in the 84. So this is a very likely 3-car battle, but we would have expected it to be a battle for the lead at this point in the race. Instead, it's the opposite end of the top 10 as Luciano in the 94 rubs up against the front stretch wall with Eric Della Riva going by on the inside. Della Riva gave himself a little bit of breathing room back to the 52 of Jake Sheridan.
Down to the stripe they come again. Your leader off turn 2 is Benedict. There's that battle between Spencer Walt and Stoddy. Those guys have been going at it tooth and nail for the last 20 laps or so. J.R. Fitzpatrick with a great view of it.
A little further back, Shea Gemmel in the 3, working to the inside of the 72 at Junior Farley. They make contact in turn 4. Side by side down the front straightaway. Behind them by about 10 car lengths is Kyle Steckley in the 22. He's got the race leader, Danny Benedict, right behind him now as he races into turn 3.
Well, we saw 3 cars get penalized at the halfway break. Shea Gemmel, Kyle Steckley, and Joe Lawrence for all working past the 5-minute mark. It hasn't affected Lawrence one bit. He is trucking his way towards the front. Sitting 5th right now, and just a lap car between him and 4th place Tom Gibbons. Wickett's going to move over and let Lawrence go by. Class move by the Polar Blair.
Yeah, Wickett down to the bottom of the racetrack. Either he has used up the good on those tires, or he realizes with less than 20 to go, get down out of the way, let these drivers battle for position, because when it is his night, he's going to want that same respect extended back to him.
Now Benedict's got 1 lap car between him and Eric Della Riva. Again, Danny Benedict has never been to victory lane here in an APC race. He's about to win the longest APC Racing Series race in history, the 150-lap Dayco 150 to open the 2023 season. Big welcome to all you folks watching on G-Force TV as well as Racing America.
And Rev TV as well. Great to have you with us as Danny Benedict continues to put laps on some pretty good race cars. And can we say enough about Eric Della Riva in the 74? This will be by far his best run if he's able to hang on to the 2nd place spot. And he's driving away a little bit from Jake Sheridan in the 52.
And again, also looking at Tom Gibbons. I believe he had 1 top 5 finish last year at Sauble. Looking to open the season with a 5th place run here. He's holding off the 89 of Chenoweth for now. We'll see if Tom Gibbons can close the deal. Della Riva now working underneath the lap car of Steckley through 1 and 2.
Steckley gets well out of the way of Della Riva. Shea Gemmel being put a lap down by Danny Benedict. Gemmel drove to the bottom of the racetrack, gave the leader all sorts of room. It'll be 11 laps to go. Now Benedict going to close in on Junior Farley. That was who Shea Gemmel was battling with, so I'm sure Gemmel is hoping that Danny Benedict can open up some racing room as he gets to Farley and maybe open the door for the driver of the 3.
Benedict will swing to the outside of Junior Farley. Oh, Farley chased him up the track just a bit. That allowed Gemmel to close in on the 72. There's your leader. And the lap cars, Junior Farley in the 72 and the 3 of Gemmel. Again, about 3/4 of a straightaway back to Eric Della Riva, who's on the verge of his best career finish as well.
And I'll tell you, Joe Lawrence is putting on a clinic out there as he works to the outside of Jake Sheridan. Moved Joe Lawrence up to the 3rd spot. That family-funded team, his brother owns the car, it's mom's engine. They've got some room. If you're looking to get your name on a competitive late model, I'm sure they'd be happy to talk to you. He's given that car one hell of a drive here tonight.
Former 2020 champ, I got news for you too, Adam. He did not forget how to drive, so just needs a little bit of funding to get through the year, but he has trucked from the back to the front. Meanwhile, your star of the night, there you see Cowboy Dan Price clapping his hands down there, cheering on his man, Danny Benedict, trying to go to victory lane for the first time in an APC race.
And trust me, Danny Benedict is hearing sounds inside that race car he's not heard all night long. Things that might be going amiss. Is that normal? Is that what this is supposed to be doing? Sean Chenoweth looking to get into the top 5. He's to the inside of Tom Gibbons in that number 10. Josh Stoddy closing in as well, but out in front it is all Danny Benedict.
Gibbons slid that thing way up the speedway off turn 4, but using the outside groove to his advantage, he's been able to keep Chenoweth pinned down.
Joe Lawrence was about 8 lanes off the bottom of the racetrack. I'm not sure what he was doing down up there.
I didn't realize there was 8 lanes at Sunset till I saw Lawrence trying to get off turn 4. Now Chenoweth chewing away again at the inside of Tom Gibbons. This is a great battle for the final top 5 spot. They're both sideways off 4.
Both of them driving those cars for all they're worth. Josh Stoddy to the outside of Chenoweth. That's a battle for the 6th spot. Stoddy going to pick up P6 as they work down the backstretch into turn number 3. 148 laps complete, just a lap and a half left for Danny Benedict.
There you see the leader on the split screen. Went out of the leader, occupied both screens. Here's Stoddy still going at it with the 10 of Gibbons. Both those guys cut their teeth at Sobel. No strangers to each other. Gibbons way up the speedway. Stoddy to the bottom.
Danny Benedict one more time through 3 and 4 in the Dayco 150. Danny Benedict puts his name in the record books with a win. Second place to Eric Della Riva, and rounding out the top 3, Joe Lawrence with a heck of a drive in that 78.
Jake Sheridan will come home 4th. Tom Gibbons 5th, and just coming up a bit short on the top 5 finish, Josh Stoddy. 7th will go to Chenoweth.
Well, guys, I got Cowboy Dan Price here. I think I'm seeing some serious emotion out of you, Cowboy. You guys have worked hard for the last 2 years. What does this mean to get this done?
Everything. This is it. This is, man, we've been trying so hard for this. We've been working on it for so long. So many years you've been at this. Man, this is awesome. This is it. Yeah.
Congrats, Cowboy. Go to Victory Lane and see your driver.
Sorry. Yeah, thank you. All right.
Hey, what's cooler than seeing a cowboy cry at the races?
You know what I'll tell you was just as cool as Dan Price raced Oshwegan Speedway Friday night in an open wheel modified and made this heartfelt post about starting a race being on the same racetrack with Kenny Schrader and how special that was to him. I think
he's had a pretty good weekend, hasn't he?
He's had a pretty good weekend. Polish victory lap by Danny Benedict in that 54 machine, and one of the more positive drivers at the racetrack. Just, you know, even through the bad luck, he shows up with a big smile on his face. He was optimistic coming into 2023 and obviously showed us for good reason. He felt good about the season at hand because Danny Benedict was able to bring home the win.
A couple years ago, it could be 2, could be 3 years ago, I remember his string of bad luck to start the season. Like 2 of the first 3 races or something, he didn't even get to race in the race. He wrecked a car in practice, blew it up another day. Finally, to get to victory lane, Danny Benedict gets it done, and it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Sporting that North Country property maintenance sponsorship, along with Mobile One on that 54, and have a happy cowboy in victory lane.
I'll tell you what, they don't even have to do any vinyl work. It's not often you get to an end of a short track race. How impressive is the APC series? Look at those 3 cars on the front straightaway, barely a mark on them as Dan Price there to greet his driver. Still with the helmet on is Danny Benedict in the car, so as soon as he peels that off, we'll throw it down trackside. Eric Della Riva out of the 74 machine, Joe Lawrence out of the 78, talking to their crews. But the man of the hour is Danny Benedict in the car. Clinton Jeffrey, we'll send it down to you.
Well, he's getting the helmet off here, taking an extra break. As you can imagine, emotional win for these guys. They've worked very hard on this tour for the last few years. And we'll get him out here and talk to Danny Benedict, one of the nicest guys here in the pits, always smiling, always in a good mood, and just a great ambassador for this tour. And let's see what he's going to say as the point leader going out of race number 1. He picked up the Dayco 150, the longest race in the history of this series, and he gets it done. And Adam, how tragic would it have been? You mentioned on lap 100 he would have won. He managed to hold on for 50 more. Come on over that car, Danny. The fans want to see you. He'll get all the cool suit off, pull out all the water bottles and everything he uses to keep himself cool for 150 laps. Fans, you want to see the winner? Here he comes. Out of the number 54, Danny Benedict in the North Country Property Maintenance Epic Racewear Machine gets it done tonight. Danny, your crew is emotional. You guys have worked really hard and had some horrible luck the past few years. What does it mean to win the longest race in the history of the series?
Man, it's been so hard the last couple of years, man. There was times I gave up on this program. I didn't think we could do this, and a lot of my guys did not give up on me. None of them gave up. They worked their tail off. McCullough Racing Enterprises didn't give up on me. They kept us going. And then North Country Property Maintenance came on this year. They believed in me, believed that we could do this, and I feel like they were the missing piece that we needed to get this done. But man, to come out here with this brand new car and win the first race, man, that's pretty awesome.
You didn't win. You whooped him, Danny. Congrats.
Thank you so much.
Danny Benedict, ladies and gentlemen, your winner of the Dayco 150. Adam, take it away. We'll get in here with second and third in just a moment's time.
For over 100 years, our company has been unique, a world leader in high-precision products, fully committed to energy efficiency and friction reduction. Today is the day to start a new chapter, a new step of our company. Today is the day to share our vision, our contribution, our identity. At the heart of our DNA, there is a name: Namerica. We are NTN, and we make the world Namerica. We are all together. We design precision engineering. We believe in a fluid, mobile, and harmonious society. We build positive mobility. We are NTN, and with willingness, conviction, and humility, we make the world Namerica.
Rev up your engines and get ready for some high-octane action. GeForce TV is your one-stop destination for all the best racing action across Ontario. With free live coverage of the APC Series, Bushwick and Speedway, Southern Ontario Sprints, and much more. You won't miss a single moment of the excitement. Whether you're a die-hard fan or a casual viewer, GeForce TV has everything you need to stay up to date on the latest racing news and events. Head to our website at geforcetv.net and start watching today.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick perfected fire. Quick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick retailer at quickquick.com.
Welcome back to Flamboro Speedway. We are live on G-Force TV. Jamie Maudsley, Greg Callan up in the booth. Clint Jeffries will be joining us trackside.
Guys, if I can jump in here, we'd like to ask everybody to move back to the grandstands. We are ready to get this racing event underway, so if you've got all your autographs, we'll ask you to please move back to the grandstand area.
Great opportunity for the fans tonight, Jamie, to get up and close and personal to these cars and the drivers. And talked about that earlier. It's sometimes tough after a race night to be able to get over to the pit area for young families and that. And this gives them that opportunity to get down there right before the race. And it's so important for the kids, that next generation, to see and touch a race car.
And how many times over the years, Greg, and this is one of the things the APC program has developed, how many times over the years have you went to a travel show and it gets done at 11:30 at night and you're still looking at a 2-hour drive home or whatever your distance is? That's why the APC races start so early. We try to get them going by 8:30, get done by 10 o'clock. You got a decent time to get home at as opposed to, rolling in at 2:30 in the morning or something like that. So, but a good chance here tonight with just 2 classes to get the autograph session in, get those fans up close and personal. And what a great-looking field of late models we got here tonight.
Yeah, 21 in total. Kyle Steckley, J.R. Fitzpatrick will start on the front row for this one. And, boy, the way things worked out on the invert with J.R.'s misfortune at sunset, it's good fortune for him tonight.
It is going to make things a little bit easier for the 84 car, but you have your point leader who, again, this is the way the invert works. He's going to be rolling from 8. So Danny Benedict wants to go back-to-back. He's got some work to do from deep in the field. But he was able to come from a decent point back last time out to capture race number 1 at Sunset Speedway back on Victoria Day weekend. And again, hopefully everybody behaves tonight because they got to get right back at it next Saturday. Peterborough Speedway event number 3. So if you are east of Toronto, well, heck, if you live here, you can still go. But if you are east of Toronto, this is your one chance to see them in your backyard. Peterborough Speedway, and it's a doubleheader. Quick Wicks, Super Stock race number 1 for them. And then 100 laps at Peterborough Speedway for the United Late Model Tour.
Yeah, 2 tracks back-to-back that can be very physical in Flamboro and Peterborough. Sunset, I mean, it's still a tight track, but it's I don't know. Well, I wasn't there for the opener, but sometimes it can be clean and green for a lot of laps and click right through. And then you go to Delaware for the Canada Day event, kind of bookended events there. But with Flamboro and Peterborough back-to-back in 2 weeks, it could cause a lot of work for some race teams here. But again, we could have a race tonight here at Flamboro that goes a long way without a caution flag. Back to that 3 and 23 that you mentioned at the top of the show.
Well, a few years ago, we Sauble Speedway, we went green to checker without a caution. 100 laps, 25 minutes. After, by the time the fans got to the pits, it was still light that night.
Yeah.
And I did hear a couple of fans complain that evening, that was too short. Well, what do you want, What a great night for racing. A little bit of a breeze.
Yeah, we had some cloud cover during qualifying this afternoon and even during the Can-Am Midgets event, but the sun is back out, peeking through the clouds as it begins to set here.
And, of course, big news for G-Force TV here in 2023. Get a little more exposure. We're partnering up with Racing America. As well, weekly coverage of motorsports across Ontario available on Rev TV as well.
Yeah, Jamie, coast to coast, this race will air Wednesday night at 9 p.m. on Rev this week. Once again, we'd like to ask everybody to move back to the grandstand area. If you're not headed to the pits or should be down here, we'll like to get going with driver introductions. Not yet, though, guys. We'll let you know when we're ready down here.
Well, real quick, I got to put a shout out. I had to pass on going to a wedding tonight. They've accused me of being pokeroo. They're not sure if I really exist or not. Because every time there's an event, I seem to be at a racetrack somewhere. So I do want to put a big shout out to Kelly and Keith getting married here tonight. Hope you're enjoying your evening. And
well, they're not getting married here tonight.
They're not getting married here tonight. They're getting married down London way tonight. But I told them I would give them a shout out. Kelly and Keith, hope everything goes well on your big day. I'm sure I'll get a status report when I get home.
They should know better. You don't get married during race season. Marriage should be like a late fall to very early spring.
Hey, one of our Superstock drivers, Delaware Speedway, getting married this year. And of course, first thing I said to him, you're not getting married during race. Oh, no, we got it booked in October. we worked around the Delaware banquet. We're good to go. That's perfect. Okay, I'll be there.
Even around the banquet.
I'll be there then.
Now, see, you should just double it up with the banquet. That could be the party afterwards, right? It's catered.
So to save costs last year, we did the Delaware banquet on the Friday night and then had the APC banquet on the Saturday. And let me tell you, there was a lot of people looking rough at the start of Saturday evening's affairs. You could tell the ones that had been there the night before.
Kevin's made his way back to the booth as well. He'll join us for the broadcast, and it's been a pleasure to have you on the call here tonight and welcoming us, not to your booth. You're usually in the front stretch booth, but we're over in the VIP tower here tonight. But thank you for having us, and it's been a pleasure to get to know you and work with you tonight.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I do like the views from over here, though. I will say that. So maybe I can work that in my next contract, transition to the other booth. But, yeah, it's been a pleasure, and I'm glad to be along for the ride.
All right, we're going to send it down trackside. Clinton Jeffrey.
Well, about ready to get going with driver introductions. It's actually your guys' job to give it to us, and we are ready down here. So how about you deliver us the starting lineup for tonight's Grisdale 100?
All right, sounds good to me. We'll get ready with our 21 cars starting a lineup for tonight's Grisdale Racing Products 100. And we'll show you how they look from the back to the front. Starting 21st, the driver to Stayner, Ontario, driving the Zancor. Car number 48, that'll be the bully, Dwayne Baker.
Row number 10 in the 72 machine. Out of Guelph, Ontario, Bernie Workwear, PV Mart, Epic Racewear, the sponsors for Junior Farley. And joining him on the inside of row 10 in the 27 machine, hailing from Milton, Ontario, that's Matt Box.
Starting in the 18th position, the driver to Guelph, Ontario, driving the Hudco Electric Supply, Bryn Mawr Construction, MRC Wireless, car number 97D, Tyler D. Venenzo. And starting in 17th, out of Hamilton, driving the Bennett Construction Group, Humberview Parts, car number 51, Mike Bentley.
Brings us to the outside of row 8 from St. George, Ontario, in the Hearth and Home Fleming Auto DGB Services 02, it's Mark Burbridge. And alongside Mark on the inside of row 8 in the 10 machine from Southampton, Ontario, Graham Family Auto CarQuest, Grindridge Service Center, Tom Gibbons Concrete Finishing, it's Tom Gibbons.
Starting 14th out of Dundas, driving the Marai Matt Mini Storage, Shaw Motorsports, car number 97, the Polar Blair Wickett. And to the inside, starting in the 13th spot, hailing from Dorchester in the APC Auto Parts Center, Canusa Automotive Warehousing, Miami Muscle, car number 3, Shay Gemmel.
That brings us to the outside of row 6, driving the 94 machine in the Real Landscaping Plus, Lingles Metal Recycling and Truck Parts, number 94 from Pickering, it's Corey Luciano. And on the inside of row 6, in the 17 machine from Chesley, Ontario, Canada Flat Roof Systems, Ridgeline Lubricants, and APC. Some of the sponsors for Josh Primetime Stoddy.
And now your top 10, starting in the 10th spot. From Brantford in the West Brant Window World, Scott's Auto Body Repair, Fleming Automotive, DGB Services, car number 2, Rick Burbridge. Starting in the 9th position, hailing from London in the Crown Rust Control, Hyde Park, Rico Foods, Cash and Carry, Tubby's Truck and Trailer Services, car number 18. Sorry, that's Cole Quinton, Cole Quinton in the 18. And that's with the Stage It Style machine.
On the outside of row 4 in the 54, winner last time out at Sunset Speedway in the North Country, Property Maintenance Mobile One B&W Enterprises machine out of Orono, Ontario. It's Danny Benedict. And alongside him on the inside of row number 4, he drives the AJ&J Furniture, SDR Seatings, Ebach Canada, number 74 from Dundas, Eric Delariva.
Starting in position number 6 out of London in the BT Racing, Mom APC, Jim's Finish Line, car number 78, Joe Lawrence. And alongside in the 5th starting position, out of Mount Bridges in the Pride Seeds, Vibrant Farms, Cameron Crane and Riggers, L82, car number 52, Jake the Snake, Jake Sheridan.
That brings us to the outside of row 2, London Recreational Racing's Route 19 Auto Parts, number 89C. Former track champion at Flamboro Speedway from Trumbo, it's Sean Chenoweth. And on the inside of row 2, two-time winner on tour from Hawkstones, Ontario, Two-Speed Motorsports, Sturrock Energy Systems, Epic Raceware, some of the sponsors for the 31W, Rick Spencer Waltz.
And now your front row, starting in 2nd, the driver to Cambridge in the Cambridge Rigging, H2GO Mobile Wash, Transaxle, Heavy-Duty Truck and Trailer Parts, Meineke Car Care, car number 84, J.R. Fitzpatrick. And starting from the pole out of Milverton in the APC Auto Parts Center, Canusa Automotive Warehousing, Pennzoil Stewart Equipment, car number 22, Kyle Steckley. Ladies and gentlemen, that's your starting lineup for tonight's Grisdale Racing Products 100 from here at Flamboro Speedway. Drivers set and ready to go. 100 laps. It's going to be a good one, guys. So drivers will buckle themselves into the race car. Their crew member there will help them get all the safety gear on, get the window nets up, and we'll get ready to roll here 100 laps the distance. I want to thank everyone who's joined us here tonight in person. We appreciate your support here at Flamboro Speedway and everyone tuned in on GeForce TV. Thank you for being a part of the broadcast here tonight.
Well, Greg, at this time, we get to get our anthems underway, and we'd like to welcome Lizzie Delaraine with us. Lizzie's 14, been singing since she's about 8 or 9. Are you ready, Lizzie? Here we go. Everybody, please rise while Lizzie gives us her rendition of the Canadian National Anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see the rise, the true north strong and free.
for Lizzie Delaraine. Great job. We're going to take a moment, get these drivers buckled in. We'll send it up to Greg and Jamie as we get ready to go racing in the Grisdale 100. Mr. Bill Grisdale is going to give us the command in just a moment. Guys, we'll let you know when we're ready.
Final preparations being made down on the front stretch, Kevin, and these drivers, I'm pretty sure, even though they've run a lot of laps, a lot of practice, there's always the butterflies before every event, that anxiousness.
You got to think, how many times that these drivers buckle into these race cars, those nerves still always creep up before that start of that green flag. It's always just who can put that helmet on, concentrate, buckle in, lock down for 100 laps, get the job done, and then have some fun afterwards. So 100 laps around Flamboro Speedway, not an easy task, but these drivers are up to it, and they should put on one heck of a show here momentarily. It should be a great race.
All day we've been waiting. Hurry up and wait. You get here early, get all ready to go, and the guys are all buckled in right now. Get here to the track early. You'll do a lot of waiting here at the racetrack till this time when it's time to go, but the waiting's over now.
That it is, and you've got a couple of drivers on that front row that know how to get it done here at Flamboro Speedway. Kyle Steckley, his first win here. And for J.R. Fitzpatrick, well, I'm sure his heart owns a part of this place. He loves coming to Flamboro Speedway, and he makes no bones about it. One of his favorite places to be. And you can bet he's excited and ready to go in that beautifully prepared number 84.
Got his start here in a limited late model, I believe the age of 14 at Flamboro Speedway. Done a lot of stuff between then and now, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
He's raced trucks at Daytona, a couple APC championships. Was the last CAS car champ.
Well, guys, we're ready. Are you ready?
We're ready.
We got two special guests here. Adam Lockwood and Mr. Bill Grisdale from Grisdale Racing Products. Gentlemen, are you ready? Don't give it to me, yes, just are you ready? All right, how about a hand for two great supporters of Flamboro Speedway, and all they do here is amazing. We appreciate what you do. Guys, they're ready. If you're ready, give it to us. 3, 2, 1.
Drivers, start your engines.
All right, we're ready.
Well, this is the moment everyone's been waiting for. Engines have been fired. We're going to go green flag racing. 100 laps in the Grisdale Racing Products 100. Right off the top, I got to make a correction during the driver intros. I went right to Patrick Friel in the 18 instead of Cole Quinton. He's out of Orangeville in that stage. It was style. Just Foam it. Spira Fire Protection, number 18. Want to make sure those sponsors get out there for you. But Cole Quinton in the 18 here tonight.
We'll see if he can overtake Dave Bradley as Canada's fastest ginger, right? Like I said, I checked with him. He was fine with it. He said, as long as you're talking about me, I don't care. Cole Quinton, he was in action here last Saturday night. My understanding, at least one top 5 finish for sure.
Yeah, he had a good run in feature number 2 last Saturday night. So he's been slowly improving here for running full-time this season at Flamboro Speedway for our pro late models. So he's going to be one to keep an eye on here in this 100 laps. Usually our races are about 30 laps, so 100 laps is definitely going to be a little bit longer distance for him. But we'll see what Cole Quinton and that 18 car can do tonight.
Yeah, a talented couple years driving a mini stock around the province. I know he's going to be making some starts up at Sauble Speedway later on this year in APC action as he's got family up there. And good to see Cole Quinton making his debut here on the APC Tour. Another guy making his debut here tonight, Mark Burbridge. We've never seen him in an APC race. He is a defending Flamboro Speedway track champ and getting his first taste of running with the big boys here tonight. The guy I really want to watch tonight is Blair Wick. Okay, we saw him win the pole last week. We saw him get a flat tire, go 5 laps down. He became kind of a pain in the neck for some of the guys in the 6th, 7th, 8th, 5th range because he was passing them last race, even though he was 5 laps down. Struggled here out of the box tonight. He's got a lot of cars to pass, but if there's anybody who can get it done here, he's a regular at Flamboro. Blair Wick at the Polar Blair knows his way around here.
And you look back to that Sunset race, and we mentioned off the very top of the show some names on that bingo card you didn't expect to be at the top of the point standings coming into tonight with Danny Benedict, Eric Della Riva, Joe Lawrence. Those are drivers tonight. I know it's a long season, but one bad night can take you out of a title chase, and that great start, you need to keep that consistency rolling through this race and on.
And you can see lots of room on the quarter panels of that 78. Again, a family-run team. The car owner, Chris Lawrence, told me that it's not low budget, it's no budget. And again, the horsepower is supplied by Mom under the hood.
Yep.
Kyle Steckley, first career APC win came 2 years ago here at Flamboro Speedway. He's got a few wins on tour, finished second in points last year.
Well, guys, we have two drivers that we want to watch tonight. We are keeping our eye on the 17 of Josh Dottie and the number 3 of Shea Gemmel. Those will be our two Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet drivers to watch tonight. Once again, the 17 of Josh Dottie and the number 3 of Shea Gemmel.
Gemmel's an interesting story because while he grew up at Delaware Speedway, they have run a lot of late model races here at Flamboro. He loves running this place. He was the Drysdale Triple Crown winner last year. Last year? I believe it was last year. Triple Crown winner. Loves this place. Shea Gemmel in the 3 car. They had a tire going down at Sunset, which led to their problems. Unable to put up that stellar run, but he did have a top 10 car most of the evening. And primetime Josh Dottie finally got that big breakout win last year at Sabo, many years in the making. He was finally able to take that family-owned car to victory lane. Wave lap this time by. If you're in the grandstand, you got something white, something bright. Seat cushion, hat, maybe a neighbor if he's light enough. Give him a wave on the way by. You see these drivers waving out the window. Don't worry, they will wave. As Adam Ross says, it's bad juju if they don't.
So they'll get bunched up here and ready to go for the drop of the green flag. We talk about Josh Dottie. This is a track where he almost got that first win a couple of years ago and came so close in the closing parts of that race, it fell away from him. So, again, another reason to watch Josh Dottie, a track that he's been quick at but hasn't been able to seal the deal.
Steckley, 2 career wins on tour. Both of them have come here. J.R. Fitzpatrick, the all-time winningest driver with 3 victories here. Sean Chenoweth, the only other active driver with a win here at Flamboro Speedway. So those are the 3 drivers trying to add to their win total here at the Hamilton area Arena of Speed, 1/3 mile Flamboro Speedway. A classic racing venue. It can be a 2-groove racetrack. Watch the 84 and the 89 out on the top side. They will show you that there is an outer groove here.
Lights off on the Bennett GMC Pace truck. The field will stack up on the back stretch. Pace truck is off, and we are ready to go. Green flag racing and the Drysdale Racing Products 100 here at Flamboro Speedway.
On the loud pedal first will be Kyle Steckley. He drag race down into 1. They're side by side. Steckley on the bottom. The 84 of Fitzpatrick up top. They work down the backstretch, and Steckley's going to be able to take sole possession of the lead.
Here comes Rick Spencer Walt down to the inside off of corner number 4, but he'll tuck back in line behind J.R. Fitzpatrick. Top 4 now, single file. You got Jake Sheridan, Joe Lawrence, and Eric Della Riva in the first fight back there. 5th on back to 7th.
Yeah, 6 and 7 first double wide battle. Della Riva on the bottom. Looks like Della Riva is going to close the deal. He'll keep Joe Lawrence shuffled to the outside. Danny Benedict will fill the hole as well underneath. Meanwhile, out front, Rick Spencer Walt now putting the heat on the 84 of Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, it's early on, but he wants to go. He showed the nose a couple of times now on J.R. Fitzpatrick as they come down back into corner number 1. It's all Kyle Steckley out in front over Fitzpatrick. And Walt in a little gap back to Chenoweth in 4th.
Field now strung out single file all the way through the pack. Closest action on the Speedway seems to be that Eric Della Riva battle. Him, Danny Benedict, both going to work on the 52 of Jake the Snake Sheridan. Della Riva tried to poke a nose, might have opened the bottom up for Benedict, but Della Riva able to hold him off.
Yeah, Benedict thinks better of making that move there a little early on here, so they'll continue on through this one. Right now it's Steckley, Fitzpatrick, and Walt. And right now the guy with the most comfort, I think, is Sean Chenoweth, riding in that 4th spot, kind of on an island. He's got a buffer between he and 3rd and the 5th place car, so he's riding around. And like he said at the top of the show, he'd like to get through these first 50 laps clean and green, and then he thinks he might have something for the rest of the field.
Into 1 and 2 they work. Steckley, your leader. Fitzpatrick still goes 2nd. 3rd is Walt. And it's 10 car lengths back to Chenoweth. Another 8 car lengths back to Jake Sheridan. And Danny Benedict getting racy there. He's putting the heat on Eric Della Riva.
Yeah, some good racing from 5th on back still. It's Jake Sheridan leading that little pack. There are 4 cars. Eric Della Riva and Danny Benedict. Benedict goes down low in corner number 3. He's got the nose up alongside the door. They'll come close off of corner 4. Benedict at the line, I believe, had the position on Della Riva. And now Joe Lawrence will follow suit on the bottom.
Big moment deep in the pack. Rick Burbridge was sideways off turn 2. He's now back up and running again, battling with Matt Box as you see the front 3 cars now working through 1 and 2. Still Steckley showing the win. That Penzo Canusa number 22. It's the Cambridge rigging machine of Fitzpatrick. There you see Burbridge and that bump at the hands of, it looks like Blair Wickett. But luckily everybody, cooler heads prevailed. They're all still running a straight line.
Watching throughout the field, some drivers struggling with their race cars, trying to gather up some loose conditions right now, and it's the battle up front that's the one to watch as J.R. Fitzpatrick beginning to draw in a little bit closer to the back bumper of Kyle Steckley. And you know, these are drivers that are smart enough to know that they need to log some laps, but J.R. Fitzpatrick, I think, is a driver here at Flamboro that just wants to go out and lead every lap if he can.
There's nothing J.R. Fitzpatrick likes better than just coming out and putting absolutely crushing on the field. No matter what the scenario is, he likes to be up front. He likes to lead laps. Right now, he's following in the tire tracks of Steckley, looking pretty patient. Also, you got to remember, bonus point for leading the most laps is a challenge is made for the lead through 3 and 4. Fitzpatrick on the bottom, and he's going to clear Steckley down into 1.
Lead change. Fitzpatrick out in front for the first time. The Cambridge rigging car number 84. Steckley tucks in line in that 2nd spot. Rick Spencer Walt about 4 or 5 car lengths back in that 31 machine. Chenoweth is still comfortably all by himself there in the 4th spot. And then you've got that 3-car battle of Sheridan, Benedict, and Joe Lawrence.
Pretty good way to save tires if you're the 89C as Sean Chenoweth. You know you don't have enough right now to challenge those top 3. I don't think he's really worried about it. He's got about half a straightaway off the back spoiler to Jake Sheridan, who is not gaining on him. The 89C of Chenoweth, you can bet he's just in cruise control right now, saving those racers.
So now it's all J.R. Fitzpatrick out in front. Steckley has not drifted back, though, too much. He's still within a car length of the 84 machine as they're beginning to catch the tail of the pack. And the next handful of laps are going to be there where the bully Dwayne Baker is.
Great action back in the pack there between Burbridge and Cole Quinton, the stage with style number 18, as well as Corey Luciano. And the leaders are coming. Those guys, got to be some sense of urgency for those 5 cars at the back. Quinton Luciano, Farley DiVincenzo, and Dwayne Baker, because that 84 is getting bigger and bigger in the rearview mirror. Coming up to put those fellas a lap down.
Yeah, it's go time here as they see the leader coming up on them. As DiVincenzo look to make a move on Farley, and you'll see if any of those drivers will say, okay, enough waiting behind, it's time for us to go. As Farley now trying to get by the number 94 as well, Luciano.
Having patience in a 100-lap race sounds really good till the leader's about to put you a lap down. Burbridge and Matt Box, they've been going at it for a while. Good battle, the Blue Deuce and the transport trailer machine of Matt Box out of Milton. Burbridge holding down that spot right now as you see your The leader still setting the pace out front. J.R. Fitzpatrick and Steckley in second, and they have put some distance between themselves and Rick Spencer-Walt.
Yeah, in fact, I think Chenoweth beginning to catch Walt just a little bit for that third position, as now your leader is within 2 car lengths away from the back of the pack, and it's Junior Farley trying to find a way around DiVincenzo as the 97D gets by him. So it's Baker, the first car, set to see J.R. Fitzpatrick go below him. He just drifts up the banking, and corner 3 opens the door, and the leader goes by.
Well, all this is going on. Guy in big trouble, Jake the Snake Sheridan, back in about 6th or 7th spot. Just got passed by Benedict. Now Joe Lawrence has got him rooted up off the bottom groove. Eric Della Riva's there as well. Lawrence was able to get by Della Riva. Now he'll clear Jake the Snake Sheridan. Sheridan had a great run in our season opener at Flamboro, or at Sunset, excuse me, pulling down a top 5 finish. He's in some trouble now as both Lawrence and Benedict get by.
Leader going to the outside of Junior Farley will take the outside line by him to put him a lap down. Steckley will have to do the same thing as now they go around DiVincenzo in the 97D, and there's a bit of a gap between this group and then Matt Box and that battle there. So the leaders are going to have some hard work right now getting past these next 3 cars.
And you can see both Cole Quinton and Corey Luciano in front of your leader have lit the wick. They are on it. That Cole Quinton machine, the Stage It With Style number 18, struggling to get the power down out of the corner. That car really seems to be snapping loose on him now. Luciano is going to go down a lap to your leader as Fitzpatrick waltzes around the outside.
So get by Luciano, and now he's got Cole Quinton right there in his windshield, and then a bit of a gap to Matt Box, and this has given a bit of a breather as Scott Steckley now locked behind the Luciano machine. And now we see Chenoweth has reeled in Spencer-Walt right now. He's right there within a half car length. That's the battle for third.
Cole Quinton in that Spire Fire Protection Stage It With Style machine goes a lap down. Off turn 4 to your leader. Now Luciano tried to take advantage of it. This is all going on between first and second right now as Fitzpatrick able to gap himself with a couple cars in between.
Leader at the line another time. Matt Box will be next up on his target list to put him a lap down. Steckley has definitely lost ground on that 22 machine, but just working his way nicely through the lap traffic, as is the leader, as we continue to click laps off here in the early going.
Spencer-Walt's now got company for third place. Sean Chenoweth just a couple car lengths back of that 31W. Walt holds third, Chenoweth in fourth. Fifth place is Benedict, sixth Joe Lawrence, seventh Jake Sheridan, eighth is Della Riva, ninth is Josh Stoddy, rounding out the top 10 is the 3 of Shea Gemmel. Gibbons is in 11th, 12th is Blair Wickett, Mike Bentley goes 13th, Rick Burbridge 14th, Mark Burbridge 15th, Matt Box in 16th, and those in the final, that's the final car in lead lap.
Yeah, that's where we find the leader now, so quickly this field being lapped by J.R. Fitzpatrick. Steckley now has cleared the lap traffic, and he has a clear sight at leader J.R. Fitzpatrick. Steckley in the second spot. Then it's Rick Spencer-Walt, and Sean Chenoweth is there right on that back bumper. They're behind those 4 lap cars. And Mike Bentley to the pit area. He was running, what, 13th or so in that last rundown.
Tough break for Mike Bentley, back on tour this year. That's a all-the-way car. And a tough break for Mike Bentley. He struggled at Sunset as well. And J.R. Fitzpatrick, what a good job moving through the lap traffic. It allowed him to open up about half a straightaway over Kyle Steckley, so he was able to pick his way through the lappers just a little better than the 22, and it paid off for him.
The closing rate on the lap cars has been impressive by J.R. Fitzpatrick. It seemed like he was a long way back from Matt Box, and then all of a sudden Matt's a lap down. So the 84 putting a spanking right now on some of this field and running his way up through. as he works on the Burbridge 02 now off of 4.
And the problem here for J.R. Fitzpatrick is the more cars you lap, the tougher they get to lap. I mean, he's working into some fast race cars now. He'll get around Mark Burbridge in the 02. Next up is Rick Burbridge off turn 4. Fitzpatrick another lap up on the scoreboard.
Steckley now with the lap car between he and the leader. And then we've got Rick Spencer-Wald, Sean Chenoweth, and Danny Benedict all running nose to tail right now. 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Joe Lawrence trying to close on them. And then the big gap where it's Jake Sheridan running in a pack of cars with Eric Della Riva, Josh Stoddy, and Shea Gemmel. You got Dwayne Baker in the middle of that. He's a lap down. So some gaps and some pockets of cars forming right now as, again, J.R. Fitzpatrick, the leader, tracking down. Now it'll be Blair Wickett.
I hate to say it, but we're closing in on the halfway point, Greg, and we have yet to see that yellow fly. So definitely the boys have been behaving here. Obviously, a couple drivers mentioning we got to go to Peterborough next week. So they don't want to damage any equipment here, and they're treating each other with a lot of respect here tonight.
They really are, and to say that we haven't seen the yellow fly, well, we have out in front. J.R. Fitzpatrick in that yellow number 84. He's been flying, putting a hurting on this field as now we work to the outside of Blair Wickett, but some nice clean racing we've seen here on the early going. You can bet things though will ratchet up once they get past that halfway point. I think that's a mental stage in the mind that says, okay, no more being nice, we need to get going.
We were talking about Rick Spencer-Wald having 3rd place all to his own, and Chenoweth having 4th all to his own, and then it was a ways back to Benedict. Well, look at this now, halfway this time by, but Chenoweth, Benedict, and Joe Lawrence have all caught Rick Spencer-Wald, excuse me. You're looking at 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, all under a blanket off turn 4. Spencer-Wald still holding the spot down in that 2-speed Motorsports number 31W, but the London Recreational Racing 89C of Chenoweth has come calling, and of course the Sunset Feature winner on night number 1, Danny Benedict, he has lit the wick and caught that duo as well.
And right now that battle from 3rd bat to 6th is about a half a lap behind the leader, J.R. Fitzpatrick. He's got 2 lapped cars between he and Kyle Steckley, and then as I mentioned, that half a track distance back to that battle for the 3rd spot. Chenoweth, I think, is starting to see that he needs to start moving here soon because the leader's pulling away.
I know we don't have a scoring pylon. We're a little past halfway. I'll set the field for you the best I can. 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick, the leader. The 22 of Kyle Steckley goes 2nd. 3rd right now is the 31 Rick Spencer-Wald, 89C of Sean Chenoweth in 4th. Danny Benedict goes 5th in the 54. 6th is the 78 of Joe Lawrence. 7th is the 52 of Jake Sheridan. 8th would be Eric Della Riva in the 74. 9th is the 3 of Shea Gemmel. 10th is the 17 of Josh Stoddy. 11th is Tom Gibbons. That is your last car in your lead lap. 12th, 1 lap down, will be Rick Burbridge in the 2. And then I believe your 13th would be Wickett in the 97. 14th would be Mark Burbridge in the 02. 15th would be Matt Box in the 27th. 16th, Tyler DiVincenzo. And 17th, Junior Farley. That is all unofficial. Again, timing and scoring not quite up to speed here today.
Yeah, race monitor down right now. So we do not have the live timing and scoring or a lap counter here in the tower. So we're not able to see exactly where we're at. But
I think I got him right, though.
No, I think he did, as Dwayne Baker now will pull it off. There's a close call there with Tyler DiVincenzo and the 72 of Junior Farley, as they have that pack running up behind them, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Guys, I can tell you that Fitzpatrick, next time he crosses the line, it'll be 60 on the board with 40 to go.
Thank you very much, Clint. We are just behind the scoreboard. That's the issue right now. I can see the lights, but I can't see the numbers.
No display monitor up here. It's frozen.
This is like old school here.
We do have the YouTube broadcast going, but the problem is we're about two laps behind.
Well, we know it's all J.R. Fitzpatrick. No lap cars between he and Steckley right now. Kyle Steckley in the 22. But a straightaway behind the leader is Steckley, and then you're a good distance back for that battle for third that heats up. Here comes Chenoweth down to the inside. Rick Spencer. Walt tucks back in line, but Chenoweth's really been showing the last 10 laps. He wants to go, and Walt's having no part of it.
Chenoweth, that 89 seal, salsa to the inside of the 31W of Rick Spencer. Walt off turn 4 and down to the stripe. A lot of patience by Sean Chenoweth before finally making the move. I got news for you. If it stays green, he ain't catching the leader. He needs some help. So does Danny Benedict. Benedict's going to get the 31W rooted off the bottom as well. They're all going to go under Tyler DiVincenzo. Looks like Joe Lawrence will also go by Rick Spencer Walt. So in a couple laps, Rick Spencer Walt's gone from 3rd to 6th.
And that, at one point, it was a half a track lead for Fitzpatrick back to the 3rd place runner of Rick Spencer Walt. Well, now we're at about, what would you say, a third, a quarter of a track in front of the leaders, that 3rd place runner, Sean Chenoweth.
J.R. Fitzpatrick absolutely taking him to the woodshed here tonight. Kyle Steckley led the early going, but J.R. was able to make the pass. We'll say, what, around lap 15 maybe? And it's been all the 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick ever since that point. He has been putting an absolute waxing on the field. He's lapped all the way up to 11th spot.
He's right there behind Tom Gibbons in the 10 machine as they work down the back stretch another time. Couple of lap cars between Fitzpatrick and Steckley. And for Steckley, in all credit, he's been almost as quick. He's at least kept the leader within his sights throughout this entirety of the race. He's back about a straightaway back from the leader of Fitzpatrick, but he's been the only one that's been able to muster any sort of speed that would match Fitzpatrick at this point.
So Tom Gibbons just wanted to lap down to your leader. Gibbons was running 10th. So now just 9 cars left on the lead lap. It's going to be Shea Gemmel in the Canusa APC Miami Muscle sponsored entry. The Dorchester driver has J.R. Fitzpatrick in his back pocket. And Gemmel will give Fitzpatrick the outside lane. The 84 swings to the outside. And once he completes this pass on Gemmel, there'll be just 8 cars left on the lead lap. It's been the J.R. Fitzpatrick night here at Flamboro Speedway.
We talked about that coming into the top of the show here tonight. What type of race we're going to see here at Flamboro, at least for the first 70-some laps. It's been green all the way, and it's all been J.R. Fitzpatrick. We're not finished yet, though. Anything could still happen, but like you said, a lot of patience and a lot of good courtesy out there by some drivers. Early on, especially the back of the pack, I think, helped this out.
73 laps in the book, going to be 74 this time by, so almost closing in on the 3/4 mark. Gemmel in 9th now, a lap down. So is the 74 of De La Riva in 8th. 7th place, Jake Sheridan next on the chopping block. And who would have thought at the start of this one we'd see Rick Spencer Walt without any damage to the car, but about to go a lap down after as quick as that car's been.
Ran in 3rd for most of this race and now is pretty close to seeing the leader get by him, as right now Jake Sheridan sees J.R. Fitzpatrick work to the outside of his machine, and he'll put him a lap down. That puts Rick Spencer Walt next on the chopping block.
24 to go. Now a good race going on just behind your leader. Shea Gemmel putting the heat on Eric De La Riva, even though they're a lap down. That is for 8th and 9th spot. De La Riva, Gemmel, and Tom Gibbons right now run 8th, 9th, 10th through 1 and 2.
And that's just the thing when the leader starts cutting through the field like J.R. Fitzpatrick's been doing. Some of these cars are still in important position battles right now, and when you consider points, and he's marching through the top 10, a lot of these battles that are behind JR now are still very important. And they continue to wage on as here comes Fitzpatrick. He's right there to the back bumper of Rick Spencer Walt.
I'm going to go out the limit here and say J.R. Fitzpatrick has safely earned that bonus point for leading the most laps here tonight. He has put an absolute whipping on him. We've been green since the get-go. Kyle Steckley led the early portion of the race before J.R. Fitzpatrick took over. Not a caution flag in sight. 20 to go now. And it's J.R. Fitzpatrick with the lead. A straightaway back to Kyle Steckley in second. And then it is about half a track from Steckley back to third place, Sean Chenoweth. Danny Benedict goes fourth, Joe Lawrence fifth. He is the final car on the lead lap now that Rick Spencer Wald has gone a lap down.
Yeah, 5 cars just left in this one. That just goes to show you how fast that 84 machine is here tonight as he takes it into corner one another time. Matt Box, a couple of laps down now in the 27. Rick Spencer Walt would be the 6th place car. And Jake Sheridan running in 7th. 8th is Shea Gemmel. 9th is Tom Gibbons. And then you've got Eric De La Riva having another good run here tonight in the top 10, although he's a lap down.
Yeah, both Shea Gemmel and Tom Gibbons were able to get De La Riva rooted off the bottom and took those 2 positions. That's right in front of 2nd place Scott Steckley. And this is a big battle working off turn 4 right now. Lucky dog on the line. If we were to get a yellow, Rick Spencer Waltz is the top lap car, sitting in 6th, but right behind him, Jake the Snake Sheridan.
Matt Box caught the wall that time in the backstretch as a shower of sparks came out of the 27 machine with cars driving by him. Leader now has some gap between he and 5th place Joe Lawrence as he enters corner number 3. Bit of a breather maybe for the leader.
All he has to do is run his race right now. Might not even have to contend with lapping Joe Lawrence and crew. Here in the late going, Kyle Steckley, he's still got 4 top-notch cars to get around to even have a shot at Fitzpatrick. As you see him racing hard off turn 4 and down to the stripe, Shea Gemmel's got places to go here in the late going. He just rooted the 52 off the bottom. Moved Jake Sheridan to the top groove, took the spot. Now here comes Tom Gibbons on the bottom as well.
Yeah, the 52 all sorts of sideways with Jake Sheridan. And that Pride Seeds Vibrant Farms 52 machine as they go down through corner number 1 another time. Your leader, meanwhile, safely up in corner 3, tracking down the number 78 machine, the 5th place runner, Joe Lawrence.
Getting physical between Tom Gibbons and Jake Sheridan. Sheridan just moved Gibbons out of the way to get the spot back. And this is all going on right in front of your 2nd place runner. Kyle Steckley's got to be like, guys, can you let me get by and then settle this? I got places to go.
And even if Steckley doesn't have a shot at Fitzpatrick, don't get me messed up in whatever you guys are going to sort out here, because he's got a solid 2nd place run, and he doesn't want to get caught up in what's going on there.
Eric De La Riva trying to capitalize as well on Gibbons. Again, this is all for positions deep in the top 10. Chenoweth now, Danny Benedict going to get it done on the outside, the 54. Danny Benedict, your winner last time out at Sunset. Now up to P3. Less than 10 to go here. Going to be 7 to go at the line.
Wow. What a run.
And I'm not sure if something's gone wrong on Chenoweth's car. He's slowed. Lawrence got around as well, and now Chenoweth goes a lap down. What a bad break for Sean Chenoweth.
He's going to pull it off or not, or just ride around the bottom. Just trying to log laps here to finish it out in the London Recreational 89C. That car coasting through 1 and 2 with cars bearing down on him, including the 2nd place runner Kyle Steckley.
Well, this will be for position as Sheridan swings to the outside. Steckley puts him a lap down. 5 to go now for your leader, J.R. Fitzpatrick. He has owned this one since the get-go, or since early in the race when he took the lead away from Kyle Steckley. And gosh, feel bad for Chenoweth after the run he had here today. 4 at the line for the 84. The Cambridge Rigging machine out of air. He'll work down the backstretch into 3 and 4. When he comes to the stripe, just 1 mile of racing left for J.R. Fitzpatrick.
Fight for 6th place is a good one to watch right now. Rick Spencer Wald has it, but Shea Gemmel wants by in that 3 machine. They've been going at it, as well as Jake Sheridan and Tom Gibbons. A little contact there off of corner number 4.
Well, the Gibbons-Sheridan deal has been going on for about 10 laps now. Gibbons just went by him. Now Sheridan pokes his nose to the inside, not going to be able to get it done. Shea Gemmel's had a good run from starting deep in the pack. That car's really come to life for him late, just not soon enough.
White flag is out one more time for J.R. Fitzpatrick. He's on the back bumper of the 5th place car, Joe Lawrence. That tells you all you need to know, Jamie.
It has been all J.R. Fitzpatrick here since about 15 laps in. Starter, checkered flag in the air, and your winner here tonight of the Grisdale 100, J.R. Fitzpatrick. He'll come home first. Kyle Steckley second. And third will go to Danny Benedict. Fourth to Joe Lawrence. And I believe that's it for all cars on the lead lap.
Green to checker. Kyle Steckley leads early, but it's J.R. Fitzpatrick putting a hurting on the field here tonight. He'll pick up the checkered flag and celebrate here at Flamboro Speedway in the Grisdale Racing Products 100.
I believe for the second time ever, that is the green to checker run for the APC Series. The first time it happened back in 2018, 2019 at Sabo Speedway. They went green to checker in 25 minutes, and that's about all it took here tonight. Less than half an hour to get 100 laps. So good job by Fitzpatrick. He came into tonight 8 points. This will definitely help him. He should be in the top 5 when all's said and done. And Danny Benedict, your winner at Sunset, comes home with a 3rd place finish here tonight. He should keep the point lead heading to next week at Peterborough.
Well, at least we'll have victory lane to give Clinton Jeffrey something to do here. We didn't have the caution flags to get him in, and we got 1 lap update from him at one point in that race. But
we ate Flamburgers all race. It was great. But we're going to get to work here. J.R. Fitzpatrick and crew is already in here to give him a good congratulations as they will start to assemble VP Racing Fuel's victory lane here for the APC Series. We'll get in here and talk to J.R. Fitzpatrick. He told us before the race he had something for them tonight and was feeling pretty good. We'll also speak to our 2nd and 3rd place runners, Kyle Steckley and Danny Benedict, in just a moment as we watch J.R. Fitzpatrick get his stuff off, guys. It was a absolute butt-whooping. Great race, though, for him. Let's talk about that, guys, quickly as we get him ready to get out down here. J.R. will pull off all the safety gear and get ready to climb out to a hometown crowd and some adulation here, I would suspect. He'll take the Hans device off, get everything ready to go. Crew already over here checking on tire pressures for the next race to make sure they're ready to rock. He'll get the winner's hat from starter Sean Gibb, and he's ready to jump out of the car. All right, ladies and gentlemen, how about a big Flamboro Speedway? Welcome for your winner here in VP Victory Lane for the APC Series, J.R. Fitzpatrick. JR, what a drive here today. You know, safe to say you had something to prove after Sunset?
Oh, definitely. I mean, Sunset was heartbreaking for us. That's just not how we normally run, but I just think we overthought that race with 150 laps and just killed our setup. But, man, now I know why the series says you don't want the fast car start up front, because I knew we were the fast car all day. I knew it was going to come down to Kyle and I love Flamboro Speedway. First off, I got to thank Chris House for letting me run here every week. That definitely helps, getting experience here. My whole team's here. I'm talking to a bunch of friends from my friends I haven't spoke to in years from racing down south. We're just trying to make this thing better. This McCall Enterprise chassis is working really good, but I got to thank H2Go Mobile Wash. They're all here. Cambridge Rigging, Transaxle, Meineke Car Care, and yeah, it's great. My family's here. This is awesome.
Heck of a job. You lapped up to 5th. That's impressive.
I'm good buddies with Danny Benedict, and I was doing all I could to want to lap him because I know that would bug him, but I didn't quite get there yet.
Congrats, JR. You win race number 2.
Thank you.
The defending and reigning champion, J.R. Fitzpatrick, will pick up the win here in round number 2. Give us a minute, guys. We'll jump over and talk to second.
What more can you say? Hey, he loves this place. This victory means a lot to him, and especially after what happened at Sunset.
4th career victory here at Flamboro, the only one with more than 2. 9th career victory, the only person with more in the history of the APC Series, Brandon Watson.
Guys, I got Kyle Steckley here. Kyle, you know, tough day, but, you know, you start up front. You have to give up the pole. There's only one way to go from there. But you only lost one spot on the day when Fitzpatrick lapped up to 5th. Is this something you can smile about a bit?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, you obviously always want more. And I could sit here and say I was saving my car and JR was driving off and I was waiting for caution, but I wasn't. my car was a handful for sure, and it was a ton of fun just running up at the front again and being back where I think we belong as a team. And I'm just thankful to be out here, all the support from my crew, APC Auto Parts, Pennzoil, MBS, Sierra, everybody who supports me, all my sponsors, Dayco. But yeah, JR was on rails tonight, that's for sure, and we're going to have to find some more speed in this thing.
Thanks, Kyle. Kyle Stackley, second place here. We'll get over here and talk to third, Danny Benedict.
So while we wait for Clint to get over and talk to Danny Benedict, don't forget next Saturday night, Peterborough Speedway, Quick Wick and APC doubleheader.
Well, Danny, they're setting up Peterborough. How do you feel about Peterborough?
Hey, I like Peterborough. That's my home track. I live about 20 minutes away where the race shop is. So I'm excited to get there. Glad we got through tonight. Man, what a great race. Everybody stayed pretty clean, and there's no destroyed race cars, so how can you complain about that?
Yeah, I'm not a mathematician, but first and third probably still keeps you as the point leader. Pretty good day for you.
Yeah, definitely. I felt like we did everything we needed to do with our North Country Property Maintenance Mobile 1 McCall car, so it's going to be tough if we have to keep coming from the back, but we'll just keep scratching and clawing our way back up to the front.
Right on. Danny Benedict will finish third here. Kyle Steckley second. And your winner of the Grisdale 100, J.R. Fitzpatrick, will celebrate down here in Victory Lane. Send it up to you guys to take us home.
Well, with J.R. Fitzpatrick getting that great starting spot here tonight, I got news for you. He's going to be at the top of the points. He's going to go to the back of the top 10 come next week at Peterborough. It's not going to be that easy, but great race on the horizon. And it was great for you to join us here, Greg, tonight. Good to see you again with Adam out of town. Always a pleasure to work with you.
Well, I appreciate you allowing me to come and join, and always a pleasure to call these APC races. And a good one tonight, even without the caution flags. You mentioned a lot of good racing throughout the field. Even for cars that were lapped, there were good, important battles still taking place.
Can you imagine those leaders coming up on a 5-car race for position, all inside the top 10? And you even got your first Flamburger tonight.
That was a win in itself. Well, I had two, if we're going to be honest. But
you feel like as fortunate as J.R. Fitzpatrick right now, don't you?
I'm fully hydrated. I know that much. Kevin, thanks for joining us in the tower tonight. We appreciate you working with us, and thank you for sharing your racetrack with us tonight.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, and it's always great when the guys and gals come in for the APC United Late Model Series Tour, and they put on one heck of a show. And like I said, 100 laps in 25 minutes. What more can you ask for?
So that will wrap things up. On behalf of Clinton Jeffrey down trackside, Kevin Small in the tower, along with Jamie Maudsley and myself, Greg Kellman saying so long from Flamboro Speedway. We'll see you next time on G-Force TV. Copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of G-Force TV. G-Force TV would like to thank you for your support and for watching today's broadcast.